Okay guys, nilikuwa najaribu kufanya warm up. Of course, tumerudi na Morara Kebaso. Usilale. Pigia best yako, pigia auntie, pigia mama, pigia baba, mwambie Morara Kebaso ako live. Amka mama, ile TV nilikununulianga, sasa ni masaa ya kuitumia vizuri. Pigia mkoro, mwambie amke. Pigia ule best yako, mwambie amke. Of course, sisi kama Obinna TV members ama TV team tuko ready kukupatia anything yenye unataka. Kamera tu korira ko ready kuzoom in, kuzoom out, ndio upate kila kitu vizuri. Kevo pia ako tayari kuzoom in, kuzoom out, upate full set vizuri. Alafu of course Nick Magana pia ako ready kukupatia sound ama sauti vizuri. Bila itilafu yoyote usikilize mheshimiwa Morara Kebaso loud and clear. Alafu pia Onesmus Mutea ako tayari kuleta mdozi kwa screen yako vizuri hivi, na pia ukaweze kumtizama. Energy iko, sisi hatuchokangi as long as wewe ukue happy. Davido pale pia na Hoda ako ready kuleta onyesho hili mpaka mahali uko, bila kusita ama bila kushtuka kwa onyesho, si ndio? Haya, Kemanda Davido one time. Davido sema tamu yako ni moja, sijui umekosa nini. Masitura, good morning. Yeah, good morning. Mali uliko kani good morning. But sisi bado tuko wera. Leshano, dapa maniaje, poa sana. Kevin Mutua, alo. Lazarus Onyango. Mkoro anatoa pesa za bundles. So unamsupport tu. Unamnunulia za 1 hour. Anatasama Morara Kebaso. Morara aanze, asap tunataka kulala. Like 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 5 minutes, atakuwa sasa ameanza, si ndio? Ya Kingpin, hi dapa, na emoji za moto. Hi tu, uko aje? Niko fiti. Mesha Kagatika, tuko ndani. Asante sana kuwa ndani. Tamaa Coffee, dapa man, tickets tunanunua. Tickets tunanunua hapo hivyo. Tarehe 4, by the way, tarehe 4 ni mwezi ujao. Sasa ukifunga tu macho, ukifungua utapata tiketi ziliisha kitambo. Utasikilia tu kwa radio ama utaonea kwa TikTok venye vita ilikuwa. Sasa wewe chukua tiketi mapema kabla ziishe, na ziko karibu kuisha. Ukichelewa utapata mwana si
ni wa jirani.
Sio wako.
Same thing.
Ni wa jirani.
It's fine.
Yeah. Chelewa utapata mwana
network ni ya you. Unajua you? Unajua ukiwa na simu na weke sim card 2 za you kwa screen, inaandika them. Okay, it's fine. So Morara amekuja. Na niko na maswali moto.
Hizi ni full scap.
Hizi ni za Morara hizi. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. Na kila moja iko na maandishi full. Hizi za Morara. Inataka kuwaka hapa.
Researcher
anafanya. Wanasema Morara alikula pesa ya watu. Unaona venye anagulu? Unaona kapesa kuuza viti?
Hapana. Wewe unaonaje?
Wanasema Morara alikula pesa ya watu.
Unaonaje?
Rudisha pesa ya Kenya. Wanasema ni project ya Ruto.
Milioni 50.
Alipewa 50 million.
Lakini hata mimi nikipewa hiyo, tasema ni gulu.
Zile maswali zote mko nazo za Morara,
leteni.
Ndawaambia hapa munaleta mimi na fire. Mambo
iwake.
This is one more for the road.
Unajua alitokanga tu kwa system once to kaka.
Si Morara juzi alikuwa ameparara tu hapa. Morara atakuwa na gari.
Umeona gari zenye amepaka.
Morara ako na gari 3. Ako na Jessica, ako na police security, na ako na
Jessica ni nani?
Jessica?
Umesemaje? Jessica ni gari?
Ni gari inaitwa Jessica.
Nimesiona hapo nikasema kumbe hujafika.
Bado. Mimi nimeona hizo gari za Morara nikajua hakuna kitu tunafanya hapa.
Gurudumu.
by the ile mguu yake ni off-road. Unajua ni mtu wa kwenda ku-expose ma project sasa.
Gurudumu. Sio mguu. Gurudumu ile. Gari ni nyeusi
tint.
Alafu ni katoto kadogo. Unajua mimi ndo naona Morara mara ya kwanza.
Haujaona Morara?
Nilimwona tu kwa TV.
Unafikiri ni kama mtu kakubwa?
Kwa radio akifuruga nasikia sauti.
Yeye na Davido.
Anatoa pesa gari kama hiyo. Alafu all of a sudden unajua alikuanga utawala pale. Akahamisa nini ya viti. Alijenga somewhere kubwa.
Niliona mpaka anapigia majirani kabro. 50 million.
Sasa akuja asema sisi nimekuwa na usingizi by the way lakini silali. Tena nakalia hapa nisikie vizuri. Sionei kwa simu.
Okay.
Hapo.
Enda umlete. Mambo sasa yuwake sasa. But ananidi ile meza ama meza inafasa itoke hapo sasa.
Sasa haukumwambia kwa hiyo 50 million. Awatie kwa vijana 100.
Hiyo tabia ya kuombaomba hiyo.
Sio kuomba.
Ndio imetufikisha hapa kwenye tumefika as a country. Mukimiti mtu yote tu tusaidie, tupatie.
Very long after midnight.
Mheshimiwa. Wamenituma nikuchukue.
Mambo vipi?
Karibu sana.
Hapa pana anasema leo ndiye anakuona for the first time. Hata alikuwa nafikiria ni kimutu.
Hapana.
Si dapa matusongeze kiti hata wewe wenyewe umechanganyikiwa sasa. Hapo.
Hapa.
Welcome. Alikuwa na expect wewe ni kimutu hivi.
Hapana. Sio mtu mkubwa. Hata I think saa hii niko na 78 kgs kama si 82. Hapo tu
interesting.
Yes.
Wewe kg zako ni 48. Kaki kichwa yako peke yake ni 50.
Definitely not.
Kichwa yako tu.
Hapana, hiyo ni maumbile tu lakini kile siko.
Umesema it is hollow however.
Multi-headed.
Sasa haina uzito. Okay. We'll work with that.
Kile iko kwa bone marrow. Na my bone marrow is thin. It has nothing.
Your bone marrow is
thin. It has nothing inside there.
Is it thin?
That's
nyembamba.
Thin.
Nyembamba. Si kile nini kwa bone marrow ama Morara nimedanganya. Kgs ziko kwa bone marrow.
What is in the bone marrow is called ni red blood cells, ni hemoglobin.
Hemoglobin, lakini ya hemoglobin
wacha tu Google sasa tujue ndio at least
hemoglobin iko kwa hii msipa ya nyuma. Hiyo ndio iko kwa hemoglobin.
Msipa gani?
Hii ya nyuma.
Inafanya nini huko?
Sasa sio red bone, hemoglobin iko kwa hiyo.
What's in the
hemoglobin?
That was not what I was going
what
to
is
Google.
Inside the bones?
What's inside the bone?
Red blood cell. Iko hapo pia.
Cells, bone forming, breaking down. Bone marrow, mineral matrix, mineral cells, blood vessels run through outer membrane. Wallahi hakuna kitu kama red blood cells huko. Mulifundishwa nini nyinyi? Wallahi. Blood cells production. Actually the production of white and red blood cells happens in the marrow. The bone marrow. So actually tulikuwa right.
Nilikuwa sio tuli. Nilikuwa.
Wewe ndio ulisema iko ndani ya bone marrow. Sio umesema iko kwa hii kitu ya hapa nyuma. Sasa hapa ndio bone marrow inapatikana.
Kwa hiyo sigufu.
Hii ni spinal cord.
Si ndio mtu akikupiga hapo unasikia uchungu na hapa. Sasa hapa ndio yellow blood cells akili inachanganyikiwa. Hapo sasa uwezi hata elewa kitu.
Umesema yellow blood cells.
Yellow blood cells inakuanga hapa. Ukipigwa unasikia masikio yanavandi.
Jua amegonga yellow blood cells.
Sasa imechanganyikiwa.
Okay. Wow. Hata Morara juu na Morara amejua mahesabu zote ziko hii country.
Hii ni yangu pekee.
But ya yellow ni sawa. Haya. Karibisha mgeni.
Tunaanza na his excellency.
Zote ziko tu sawa. Zenye unataka tu. Nitamuita Mr. Carpenter. Ama unaweza muita His Excellency, ama unaweza muita Vampire Diaries. Unaweza muita mambo mingi. Ushawacha Vampire Diaries? Ushawacha Vampire Diaries?
Sitaki kuita kitu yenye itaniweka kwa moto.
No, yeye alikuwa anaita hiyo kipindi yake hivyo.
Huyu ndo alikuwa anatembea aki
si ndio huyo? Si Elijah. Ushawacha ni Vampire Diaries iko na Elijah.
Ndio alikuwa anaenda
na ule mwingine anaitwa Klaus. Si umewacha Vampire Diaries? Ndio huyu.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
Na kuona tu kwa gazeti na kusikia kwa radio na kuona kwa TV. Sasa leo nimekuona live.
Nice to see you.
Sasa ndio unaitwa nani?
Naitwa Dapperman.
Yes.
Dapperman. Huyu ni mdosi wangu. Alinitoa kwa street Nairobi, nilikuwa navanga diaper. Sasa akaniweka hapa hivi.
Diaper?
Diaper. But sasa sitaki kuenda kwa maneno mingi na haribu tena. Sasa naomba ile tuko na vinywaji. Tuko na maji fofotende, sarubati ya machungwa, ya maembe, chai fupi na chai ndefu. Alafu hapa nyuma pia tuko na vileo.
Chai fupi na chai ndefu ni gani?
Sasa hizi ni vileo. Tuko na chai fupi. Chai fupi ni maziwa mingi, alafu maji kiumbali. Hiyo ndio chai fupi. Alafu sasa chai ndefu ni tuseme kwa mfano tu kama siturungi. Siturungi ndio.
Leta tu sharubati ya machungwa.
Sarubati ya machungwa. Those. So now.
Mimi niko sawa, thank you very much. Leo kunywi baba. Huyu ukimtumanga kitu anakunywa akileta.
Utafanya mgeni.
Hivyo hata sharubati hiyo ya machungwa itafika.
Hiyo labda itafika hapa ikiwa half. Ndio imeisha yako huko.
Hapana bosi.
Ni sawa, mimi niko sawa.
Uko sawa. Sawa.
Nick, kuna sound iko na issue. Ni microphone ya hapa man. Oh. Umeshaisort. What was the issue? Oh.
Sawa sana.
Asante.
Mdosi, umesema uko sawa.
Niko chonjo. Maji ninayo hapa. Vaseline ndio hii. Power bank yangu iko hapa.
Uko tu sawa kabisa.
Nikupate kwa ofisi yangu. Kama upendi kazi yako.
Uko tu nagonga wananipea kwa mlango.
Very good.
Kwa friji.
Haya, Davido, tuanze kipindi.
Obinna, you need to be here.
I am. Check it, guys.
This is Obinna Show Live, coming to you live from Obinna TV Studios.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back. This is one last one. Yeah, the last one for the road. Thank you so much for tuning in today because the other ones that we've had have been quite interesting. However, we've been saving the best for last. Right now, we are about to hit the nail on the head. If you're just tuning in, this is Obinna Show Live, coming live to you from Obinna TV Studios. We sit down with the who, we discuss with them the what and the why. If you listen carefully, you're going to learn something, or better yet, you're going to get entertained. All right? Remember to comment, like, and subscribe. Why? Because the guest that I'm seated with right now owes Kenyans money.
How much money?
First of all, welcome. Welcome
you.
Back. Karibu tena. How have you been since last time?
I'm doing very well.
Okay.
And I'm grateful to God, yes.
Okay. Pesa ya Wakenya iko wapi Morara? Tuanzie tu hapo.
Gani?
Yenye walikuchangia.
All right. So most of it was actually used for fuel.
Okay.
We traveled 29,000 kilometers around the country, 32 counties in total.
Okay.
We visited over 95 projects at the time. Hiyo ni hiyo mwaka. Wakati walichanganga hiyo mwaka.
Okay.
So, and when things got when we had misunderstanding about why we were fundraising, we decided to make some refunds to those who were willing. And we refunded about 2.4 million in total to those who asked for their refunds. To those who did not, we assumed that wanaelewa why they were fundraising and what role it comes to play. Okay. So I don't owe any money. And I'm grateful to those who supported me at the time. Since then, I've been able to do more work without fundraising. And it's a lot of work, but I've been able to do it pole pole with my own finances. Pata kidogo nakimbia nafanya. Pata kidogo nakimbia nafanya. Like now I've done a trip of Western twice. I've done a trip of the whole of Northeastern. And some of, I've used probably about, in all this work, probably about 4, 5, 6 million of my own money. I'm not complaining, and I'm not saying I am owed anything. I did it for my country because I'm passionate and because I believe tukipata better voters, we can have a better country. Okay. My understanding is that the biggest problem we have in this country si viongozi, ni wananchi. That's the biggest problem we have.
Okay.
If we just get better voters, the leaders will be better. Lakini now, the kind of voters tuko nayo, hata ukichukua viongozi wote wenye tuko nao wafunge jela, they will elect bad ones again.
To replace the other one.
Yes. So ile software, yani thinking yao, why they go to the ballot, what they go to vote for, what they should be looking for, what they should be expecting from a leader, haiko. So that is even the purpose of civic education. I've done my best. I believe I can do more if given time, but I'm young. There's no hurry. I still have a lot of time to do this.
Okay. Nivutie hivi koti tu hivi kidogo. Koti sasa iteremuke hivi sasa ndio waone suit arwako. Suit moi idondege.
Jana.
Ndio hiyo sasa. Ile ofisi ulikuwa umefungwa ile ulifunga?
Yeah, we closed it.
The way that office was huge.
It was huge, but a huge office comes with huge costs.
That's true.
Because it will need security, because of the data you are collecting and the people working there and the information you're storing. Yeah, it will need food, it will need lights. So even though the building itself had been given to us, that because we understand what you young people are doing to mienio nyumba, still had a lot of costs. So when we felt that we can't handle the cost anymore, we just closed it down.
Na kale ka Prado ile mlichukua watu wakachanga nini kafunga vizuri.
Yeah, there is a time it was stuck. There's a time it was stuck at Nairobi Central Police Station.
Okay.
When Talam was the OCS. The Talam mwenye kokotini sahi for murder. When he was OCS for Central Police Station, there is a time that vehicle was at Central. Ilikuwa imeenda kusaidia kina mama when they were doing their protest against femicide. Because ni gari ya wananchi and they requested for it na iko na sound, I sent it to that driver. But the police were able to round it up. The DCI wakai block somewhere on Moi Avenue and they pulled it to Central. So ilikaa pale, I think for about 2-3 weeks. And this Talam guy was a very big problem in terms of getting the vehicle from there.
Okay.
But finally I was able to get it out of there and brought it home. Then it had a brake problem at some point. Brake booster ya Prado cost about 120,000. I got it fixed, but it was no longer useful because we were not going for any rallies anymore. And also because of fuel consumption, we wanted to replace it with a diesel. So what we did is at that time we traded it in for another diesel vehicle, which I have, but which I don't use. It's just in the compound. So yes, I have a vehicle that replaced that one. It's a diesel one. The other one was petrol. So it consumes less and it's more powerful, but I don't use it because I don't go for rallies. So iko tu.
Wani ni kama ni dead asset? Ama inaturn kwa a liability?
Yeah. Vehicles, when they are grounded and they are not being used, they become liabilities. Yeah. But there's nothing else I can do with it because if for example I want to use it, I will have to put comprehensive insurance. That's an expense because they'll do valuation on the car, valuation takuja juu, then I'll have to pay. There are many costs associated with it. Nikiamua kuitumia, I have my own cars that I'm driving, so you have to get a driver for that one. And anyway, where would I be driving it to, and what would I be doing?
It's a Prado.
It?
J120 ama J150?
It's a J120 but diesel.
So nipatie nikulipe pole pole tu.
Sasa hiyo ni ya Wakenya kwanza, hiyo nikikupatia italeta vitina. So I'd rather keep it.
Nisaidie nayo basi.
Nakusaidiaje sasa?
I give my brother to campaign with it.
Sasa
si imelala hapo, si I'll fuel, I'll put comprehensive insurance, nipatie bro, nimwambie kimbia nayo, fanya nao mambo yako. Talk to Wakenya ndio wako hapa, but story for another day.
Uko ready ku go through chenye huwa na go through now watu.
I've been going through it all along. Mimi hakuna mwenye alinichangia kanambia Obinna nimekuchangia hapa na hapa.
Sasa that is
shida hiyo na go through ni ulichangiwa. The minute umechangiwa hata kama hukutumia pesa. Na hiyo ndio pia shida pia nasumbua wase wa TikTok. Wakikuchangia kwa TikTok, then waone na progress. Hiyo ni microwave yetu. Ukikunywa soda, hiyo nilisikia kuna mwingine alikuwa anakula nyama akatukanwa akamwambia sasa nisikule nyama je mlichangia.
Yeah. I mean there's a lot of civic education that has to be done around money, the issue of money.
Yeah.
Because money controls our politics in Kenya. Tupende tusipende, money na control siasa yetu. So kama sisi hatuja control hiyo money, we will not control politics. Okay. Until we control the money that is going to politics, we can't control the politics. Sasa mwanaume ameenda pale, amechukua 10 billion ama 20 billion, amerun for president. Kwani run for president juu anataka kusaidia hii ni children's home, anataka kutusaidia? No. He'll obviously want to recover his own money, benefit his own friends and so on and so forth. Yeah. Mwanaume mwingine ameenda amerun pale, ametumia 400 million to be a governor. Atakosaje kuiba? But if we were very keen about mambo ya campaign financing and we were identifying the candidates we want, then investing in them, then ingekuwa rahisi kusukuma what we want into leadership. Ingekuwa tunapata mtu tunasema this one is a good one, tunamsukuma anaingia. But money is still a very, very big challenge, even for young upcoming leaders, even the ones I see coming up. This one wants to be a president, this one wants to be a governor. It again in the end boils down to how much resources they have. That's why unasikianga unakuwa funded na Uhuru, unakuwa funded na Kenyatta family, because people believe those are the ones with the money to fund you. But if they fund you, they are not funding you to help Kenyans, they are funding you to help them.
Cover their interest.
Yeah, Uhuru akupatia pesa, akupatia pesa usaidia wa Kenya, anakusaidia pesa usaidia Uhuru ama Kenyatta family. True. So we have to be wise about mambo ya campaign financing and stop scandalizing it. Unajua people scandalize financing so much.
Yeah, in Kenya campaign financing is still, they still don't understand it. Is it they don't understand it ama ni venye tuko tunayo tabia nikikupea? Now I have to...
It's all about understanding. It's all about understanding. That is why hata ukienda kwetu Ocha, people cannot fundraise for you to begin a new business, but they can fundraise for you to be buried.
That's true.
So, I mean, you're going through an addiction problem. People not raise funds to take you to rehab, but they'll wait for the addiction to catch up with you. When imekuua, then they'll raise a lot of money now for your funeral. They'll bring tents, they'll bring chairs, wataleta sound system, wataleta, yani, you'll have a big funeral.
Okay.
People can fundraise, for you to have a big wedding, but rarely will they invest time to make sure you have a good marriage, or even to reach out to you and say, hey, naona you are going through this, how are things on your end or stuff. So it's true that we invest in the wrong things, and it's true that we value the wrong things, and we've not understood the power of investment. That is why Israel is controlling the US politics. Because Israeli billionaires finance politicians to Congress, and then they finance politicians to the US Senate, and they fund US presidential candidates. So when a US presidential candidate is going to power, he's going to power with the interests of Israel in mind. That's why whenever Israel needs any bomb, the US gives them. They need jets, F-70s, they get. Any single thing they want, they get. Why? Because these people have had a lobby. That lobby finances candidates to protect Israeli interests. End of the story. So hata sisi, we have to get to a point where we are ready to fund and finance good leaders to occupy positions of governance. Juu kwani ni mtu gani mzuri atakuja ashindane na some powerful criminal amshinde kama ana some form of resource?
To be tricky.
Lazima, resources is unavoidable. You know, people say, kama tuko tayari kukupatia kura, mbona unahitaji pesa? You will still need it. You will need money for TV appearances. You will need money for billboards. You will need money for security because your security risks will increase, and so on and so forth. Yeah.
Okay. You are doing a very good thing with the Vampire Diaries, exposing government projects that have stalled, that have been looted and everything else. And then at some point you kind of stopped and said you're throwing in the towel, even when you're vying. Then you said, no, I'm no longer now doing even this thing for politics. Nimechoka wa Kenya, this and that. And then people said, you're paid so you can stop doing that. Were you paid? Plus you part your 50 million.
50 million.
Depo, around 26 million, I think. Then you ingine ikachelewa kidogo.
50 million ni pesa kidogo kwangu. Not in a bad way, but it's not the kind of money that naeza pewa na any influence. And also, I'm not the type that commercializes what I do. Some of the things I do them out of passion, not for money. Sikuangi nimetarget ati nifanye kitu paka ifike mahali fulani ni cash out nipewe pesa. I don't think like that. I know why Kenyans would think like that. Because for some of them, the economy is so tough that they can't imagine that if they were offered 50 million, they would refuse. But you see, I value or I understand my self-worth. And I value what I've been able to do and what I've been able to earn on my own. So I don't feel surprised about 50 million. I believe it's money I can make peke yangu. I don't have to receive it from a politician. And in any case, there is no politician who will give you 50 million. Bure. Unless you're bringing them tribal numbers. Politicians in Kenya think along tribe. And since they think along tribe, si wajinga wanapiga hesabu ya numbers. Kama yeye ni Mkalenjin na anahitaji kura ya Waluya na uko na hiyo influence ya Wabukusu for example, he will be willing now to give you money umlete kura ya Wabukusu. Okay? But we, the type of politics we were trying to do, how then would you identify who Morara's constituency is? Because we were not along tribal lines. So huwezi sema ataleta the youth. The youth think for themselves. The youth, nobody can think for them. They can't be herded like cattle. Si kama ngombe ati unaweza ati leo unaweza wapeleka wote uwaeke mahali. But a tribe you can. Because, for example, Ruto is a Kalenjin. If today he took a Kamba, let's say like Kalonzo as his running mate, 90% of the people from that region would turn. They will say, huyu ndiye ametukumbuka, ametupatia number 2, hiyo ni heshima kubwa. Sisi tunapatia kura. Ile vitina yote ya vitu tulisema kumuhusu kitambo, hiyo ilikuwa mambo tunawekwa vitina na opposition, hiyo mambo sasa imeisha. So it's possible to herd a tribe into somewhere, but it's not possible to herd the youth who think for themselves. It's difficult. So I don't think what I would be bringing the table ndio nipewe 50 million. I mean, why would they give me 50 million yet they can kill me?
Ndio sasa uache nini wangekuwa, you had a lot of young people following you. You had your own constituency and they felt like huyu wacha tumwambia punguze makali kidogo aache kuexpose a lot of the dirty linen.
But I still do. I mean, 2 or 3 weeks ago I was in Northeastern. Yeah, the honest truth is that I probably don't do it with as much energy and vigor as I used to. And that is partly because I have re-understood Kenyan politics kivingine. Wakati nilianza hii kitu, I knew for sure 100% that the problem in Kenya is the leaders. Nilikuwa so sure kwamba shida ya Kenya ni viongozi, na kama naweza toa wakora na wezi kwa uongozi, to replace na viongozi wazuri will be done. This will be Singapore, even better than Singapore. But as I went on doing this, I realized that the biggest problem we have in Kenya is the people themselves. So you see, that's very discouraging. Unajua ni kama grow up ukijua daddy ndio shida. Our dad is a problem. Kwa sababu mama anashinda akicomplain kuhusu mzee. And then after you grow and get to teenagehood or to your early, life,
yeah.
Then you realize your father was not the problem. There's an even bigger problem. In fact, you, the children, were the problem. So you once you learn this, it kind of makes you go slow a bit in terms of how fast you want to rush this thing. Kwa sababu you realize that hiyo thinking yenye wananchi wako nayo, they've had it for many years. Haijaanza jana. Ni kitu has been taught into them, then they've taught their children, then those children have taught their children, and those children are now teaching their children. They have been taught compliance.
Put your head down.
Compliance. Inaitwa respect, but ni compliance. Where, for example, if you go to the Maasai community, mnasikiza elders even when they are wrong.
Don't question.
Uwezi question these ranch elders, uwezi. You go to places, especially the pastoralist communities. Ukienda mahali kama Northeastern, wale wazee wakishakaa na waongee, wazee wa Orma, wazee wa Borana waongee, it's over.
Even there's this one in Murima, there's this group of wazee. Kuna
wa Njurincheke wa Meru.
Njurincheke.
And then kuna wa the Kikuyu elders.
Yeah.
So now you see, because of that, not being able to question these elders, the elders themselves over time wamekuwa na tabia mbaya, they've been captured by politician. Hakuna haja aende kutafuta wananchi, anatafuta 10 million, naenda naona elders. Kishaona elders wanakuja pamoja, wanaambia community, this is the direction we will follow as a community.
Yeah, this is our guy.
So the behavior and thinking of Kenyans is something that has been taught. Ni kitu imefunzwa into them. Uprooting it takes time, because even Kenyans believe the wrong things from the education system. Walisoma darasani wakajua Kenya got independence, which is a lie. So there's a lot. First we should have known that zile vitabu tunasoma pale shule zimeandikwa na the colonizer. Hivyo inamaanisha the colonizer kuna message anataka to get, ama kuna vile anataka kuengineer mind zetu tuwe tunafikiria, ndio tuwe good employees. So when you are being taught through school, you are being taught to be obedient so that we can be good employees. That's why all of us were being asked about career choices. Yani the dream was study, get a job, be employed by someone, yeah, so that you get a salary. That salary ndio ujiendeleze. That even books, the stories, nini, it was all about being a good employee. So people believed that we got independence, but we didn't, because the story yenye iko kwa vitabu za history zenye watoto wanasoma shule ni kwamba the Mau fought mzungu until mzungu decided that these people can now get independence. We have lost too many white people in this Mau war. Wacha tuwape. That is not true. These people left because they were ready to leave.
And they never left fully.
And that is why they left the same time in all other countries. It was a decision they had already made. And secondly, they didn't leave juu tuliwapiga. They left because we were paying them. We paid them to leave. As in 1962, some African boys here who had been educated by the missionary. Unajua missionary pale alikuwa ni mzungu. So anakufunza, then anarealize haka kanashika. Anakutafutia scholarship, unaenda London kusoma. So that you learn their mindset. So hawa ndio walipelekwa Lancaster conference pale. They sat down with Muzungu, they negotiated. We were given a loan. And that's why we have loan problems to this day. We were given a loan in 1963 of 20 million euros. 20 million sterling pounds. This 20 million sterling pounds was to pay the white settlers to live.
Oh.
So every white settler property yake ilikuwa inakuwa value na si yake. Ni shamba walikuja, huyu amegrab 10,000 acres, sijui Delamere amegrab 20,000 acres, sijui nani amegrab ngapi, unafanyiwa valuation, ni eka ngapi, unalipo unaenda. So they were cashing out. They were like, hii pesa nikienda Lancaster, nikienda kwetu Manchester, nikienda Birmingham, sintaweza kufanya ABCD. So they were cashing out because ulikuja hapa ukapata land for free yenye imenyang'anywa Africans, and now you are being paid for it to live. So that 20 million sterling pounds, we paid the white people to live. So it was corruption. It was odious debt because some of that money was stolen. And it was stolen by our own black boys here who became the first leaders of our country. And they bought huge tracts of land at very low rates for themselves. That's why they have una drive shamba yao yaishi. Because that's how they managed to own that land. It's not that they worked hard, earned some money and bought. It is there was money here. They were the ones in power. Since they were the ones distributing the money, they kept some for themselves and bought as the whites were living. So my grandfather, Senator John Kebaso, was in the first Senate in 1963. In the first Senate of our country as a senator for Kisii, because Kisii region at that time was just one big region. There was no Nyamira or Kisii. And he was just like myself, people who are not really focused on trying to cash out. So in our family, jina ni kubwa, but we were not in, there was no wealth to inherit. So mzee ako na jina kubwa, he was a senator, yes, but you can't find some 3,000 or 4,000 acres of land yenye ati babangu ama my grandfather sasa George Morara inherit 2,000 kagawia watoto wake ati sasa imenifikia mimi niko na 100 acres. No, we just struggled like ordinary kids, went to ordinary public schools, struggled, but of course jina ilitupea motivation. Okay. That you have a big name, fight for it. But not that we inherited anything. But there are people, of course, who they grabbed so much that they passed on to the next generations and used that money to buy banks. So today they own banks, they own insurance companies, they own factories, they own whole sectors, you know, sugar sector, milk sector, they own a lot of stuff.
Okay.
Because of that. Now, that money is what they use to finance politicians. And if they are funding a politician, you need to know that it is not for you. It's for themselves.
Okay.
So, do people understand this story? Most people don't. Do people understand where unemployment came from? You know, Gen Z sahi, we are complaining that hii country hakuna employment, watafuta kazi hakuna, ni Ruto. Unemployment problem began in the 1980s. And it began with IMF. IMF was allowed to come into this country and control our economic policy. And they brought something called structural adjustment programs, SAPs. Sasa, IMF was protecting its creditors. Kwa sababu IMF is probably like a monetary institution, financial institution. So mtu inatetea ni shareholder wake. And the biggest shareholders were the big countries like US, France. So they brought structural adjustment programs on smaller countries zisipeleke zile hasara. As we mess up our economies, tusipeleke wale hasara. But also to keep Africans poor so that they become a cheap source of labor and an available source of natural resources like gold, copper, oil and other things. So these structural adjustment programs, what they did is we had factories, good factories. We had cotton ginneries. In 1980s, it was more fun to wear a cloth made in Kenya. There was no mtumba in the early 1980s. There was no cheap mtumba. Ulikuwa unavaa nguo imeshonewa hapa Rivertex. That's why cotton farmers had a lot of money. I was in Burkina Faso last year and cotton is their second largest export after gold. So inamaanisha cotton ikimanajiwa poa, it can really put a country mahali mzuri. Na huko it's law to wear clothes zao. Hiyo ni sheria kuvaa the local clothes. So nguo zao ni mzito, very heavy cotton. Yeah? And cotton is even used, wana dip kwa palm oil, wanaitumia for lighting. So they dip the cotton in palm oil, then wanawasha, then hiyo ndo wanatumia for rural areas mahali hakuna stima. So we had cotton industries, even in Makueni. We had our tea industries as usual. Different industries to manage different cash crops. We had cashew nut factories in Kwale. What happened to these factories? When the structural adjustment programs by IMF came, we now had cheap imports from Asia. Sasa, nani atanunua nguo expensive ya local cotton kama kuna mtumba ya mtu alikufa labda Europe zikabandoliwa pamoja na unapata t-shirt na 50 bob ama na 30 bob ama na 20. So mtumba became cheaper. Kenyans were happy because Kenyans believed wamefunguliwa soko vitu cheap zikuje, so they'll be buying things cheaper. They forgot that hiyo pesa wanatumia kununua the cheap things, they earn it as a salary from the factory. So the factory will collapse. Once the factory collapse, they will not have a salary. If they don't have a salary, hata iuzwe shilingi 5 hutanunua. So that's how they killed industrialization. Walipoua industrialization, now we became a client country, a client state. So right now, all our money is for imports. Kila kitu ni kuimport. Every single thing. Including hata hizi factories ziko hapa zinasema they do processing in Kenya. They don't. Add the cooking oil. You see there is Pwani oil refineries that is making fresh fry. There is Golden Africa. You think that they are buying sunflower from Kenyan farmers to make sunflower oil? Or they are buying corn from Kenyan farmers to make corn oil? No, they are not. They are buying from Mexico crude. The only thing they are doing there is refinery. Crude inakuja na drums ama na ship, then they pump it, they refine it, they sell to us. So si ati kwa sababu tuko na Pwani oil refineries na Wakenya wote ukula cooking oil, then kuna sunflower farmers wanafaidika. They are not there. So that's the biggest problem we have, that even the industries we have in Kenya today, they are not industries supporting agriculture ya Kenya ati ndo mkulima afaidike. No, they are industries importing then processing. Ndio maana tunaona sugar industries zote zimeacha kununua sugar cane kwa mkulima wa Bungoma, wana import. Kama ile video nilifanya juzi ya ile ship inaitwa Agia Valentina, ilikuwa imeleta almost 1 million metric tons of sugar. They take it there, they repackage, and they sell to you as Kenyan sugar from Cabras. But mkulima wa Cabras hajafaidika na hiyo sukari unakunywa hapo kwa nyumba. Imetoka somewhere either in Durban, the port of Durban in South Africa, ama Bangladesh, hivyo. So that is where unemployment came from. That is why now today the youth sasa hawana kazi. Kuna wale inabidi wauze nudes only fans ndo wapate job. Kuna wenye wanafanya carding, kuna wenye wanafanya wash. Kuna wenye sasa wana offer massage and extra services kwa nyumba zao. Kuna wenye wako kwa strip chat. You know, people are doing funny things to earn money because the economy has failed them. Umesoma, uko na makaratasi, your parents sold the last cow they had, the last piece of plot they had, and now you can't get a job. So you are frustrated. Na hata depression na drug abuse imetoka hapo. That's why unaona kuna vurugu online. You know, people on lives attacking each other, you know, people doing all manner of things. It's because people are stressed and idle also. So you can imagine a stressed, idle, frustrated person. They'll do anything. That's why kuko na kesi za watu wanaruka from 7th floor. It's a big issue. And at some point, It's going to lead to a very, very big crisis, which is going to be a battle between the government and the youth. The youth will be angry with the government, and the government will be trying to calm them down, and there will be a major battle. In fact, what we saw in June 25th is nothing close to what is coming up mbele. Because the youth wa June 25th, si ati hapa katikati wamepata kazi. It's not that they are employed now. That's why they were saying wanaweza enda tao daily na watachoka, because what else are they doing? There's no employer waiting for them. So those youth bado hawajapata job. Najua hawajapata, there's gonna be problems in the coming days. So huwezi sema kuwapea kazi ya kuclean Nairobi River for 3 weeks, uwapatie some stipend ni kazi. That's not a permanent job. Huwezi sema utawapeleka wote Saudi Arabia. Izile vitu Alfred mtu anafanya. You can't take all of them there. Hawa watu wana graduate karibu 1,000,000 from universities, technical institutes, vocational institutes, all colleges. Watu karibu 1,000,000 every year. And you are only taking people to Saudi Arabia 50,000 in a year. Sasa hao 950. Tuseme 50 wapate mahali ya kuingia. Maybe their parents' businesses, ama ukulima, ama nini, ama self-employment. Hao 900 umebaki nao. Right now ukienda mitaa imejaa mchana. Go to Kasarani, Season, Santon, nini. You know, you just go to Roysambu, Mirema. Mchana saa 6 Tuesday imejaa hivi. Unashindwa, kwani watu waendi kazi? Wako tu, have nothing to do. People are surviving through, other means.
Do we have a solution for it?
The solution would have been better leadership. But you see, better leadership comes from those people. Now the question is, do those people know the problem they are in? Because unaona hao watu kama wangekuwa najua ile shida wako, wangekuwa wanajua dawa ya hiyo shida, na wangekuwa wamebadilisha from bad leadership to better. Lakini kwa sababu bado hawajui, okay, they are frustrated, they are angry, which is a genuine emotion, but they don't know why or who or what.
Okay.
So because hawana hiyo ka understanding
or how,
hata wakienda kwa debe leo unapata labda wanatoa Ruto wanaweka labda Gachagua. So they just revolve around the same. Ni ngumu sana tupate and you know right now they want something trendy. So the more stupid a politician is, the better he is. Akikuwa tu cantankerous, ule mtu anaongea vitu mbaya, chafu, anafanya vitu za uwazimu, Kenyans wanabambika baya sana. Unapata views mingi, likes, ma followers. Watu wanampenda sana.
Si useme tu Salasia. Why are you going round?
Not Salasia. Salasia labda zake ushika sometimes, but he's not dumb. He's more brilliant than some of the people we have.
True.
But I can assure you that William Ruto is probably not the worst president Kenyans can elect if given a chance. Kenyans can even elect Waititu. Ukweli mimi sikudanganyi. Mimi si nime-interact nao, mimi najua. Si uende tu Bungoma. People are tired with Lusaka. Do you know who they want to replace him with? Didmas. Yeah, people are angry and they are genuine in their anger. But look at the replacement.
Is that why you decided to quit?
No. Unajua sasa, first, I feel I'm young and I have time. Secondly, I think I need to make some good money first. Because nime-realize first, ile thinking nilikuwa nayo kwamba if I have strong ideas that can change a nation, people will put money on them. Nime-realize it's a long shot.
Surprise, my brother.
People might not raise as much as you would need to fight this kind of a war. And in fact, if they raise that money, they will be the new war you are fighting. You will stop fighting that enemy and fight with them because they'll open a new battlefront with you. because of raising funds for you. So I think I really need resources for me to be able to fight that battle. And sahi niko tuko hiyo journey ya kubuild capacity. Because I've seen even the challenges that Kina Sifuna and Babu are going through. It still revolves around issues of tribalism and resources.
Okay.
Money and tribalism. Hizo ndio vitu mbili wana face. Otherwise they will be very viable candidates. Okay. But now you can see ODM is a party worth 10 billion, nobody wants to let go. And you see ODM, nobody can save it. You know, there's no need to fight over something that is on a downward trend. Kama uko na wafuasi, why insist to stay? Si uko na wafuasi, na si chama ni wafuasi, si chama. Si uondoke na wafuasi waingize chama mpya. But now the question of tribalism and resources comes in. Hawa wafuasi, ukiwaambia sasa tutoke tuende, you know they are excited. Watasema oh mimi ni nini Sifuna, they'll print t-shirts nini. But now ukiwaingiza sasa pale kwa where they need to make the decision, uambie sasa we want to make a new party, tuhamia hapa tuingie. The first thing they'll ask you ni hii chama ni ya kabila gani? Kwa sababu tunajua DAPK ni ya Waluya, Ford Kenya ni ya Waluya, ODM ni ya Wajaluo na watu wengine labda Coast nini. Tunajua kwamba UDA saa hii imebaki kuwa ya Wakale na DCP ni ya Wakikuyu na Wiper ni ya Wakamba. So people have already organized the tribal party, the parties of the Republic of Kenya into ini ya kabila yetu.
Tribal cocoons.
Sasa kwa sababu iko hivyo, watamuuliza sasa hii ndio chama mpya ya Waluya. They'll ask Sifuna that. Or they'll ask Babu, oh, so ni chama mpya ya Wajaluo mahali tunafaa tuingie. So they won't think beyond tribe. Shida ya pili, resource. Chama inataka resources, crazy resources. And you can understand why Ruto now was stealing in the first term ya Uhuru. He was stealing enough money for him to be able to run UDA. That's why immediately UDA was launched, the party had almost 5 billion for branding alone. UDA ilienda ikapeana tenda China. They were printing like 5 million, 10 million t-shirts. Merchandise. Wakona print vitu mbaya sana. Billboards, media, employees, security, kununua wabunge. Mbunge ananunuliwa ingie UDA. Napewa hii ni yako, shika ingia chama. Shika hii ni yako, ingia chama. Jua waingie bure. Wanakuuliza kwa nini tuingie. Give us another reason.
Here is the reason.
Yeah. Walikuwa napewa pesa. So that's what I'm telling you. It takes a lot to kama mimi mtu mdogo, I was spending so much money. What about people who are running for president or something? So those are the challenges young leaders will continue to face as they try to go into politics. And I face them even with Inject.
Yeah.
Trying to register a political party is a nightmare in terms of resources. Hapana machezo. You are being told by the registered political parties to open 24 offices in 24 counties. Hata tuseme tu wangukie singorumia 3,000
times 24.
Ebu multiply kwanza times 24 plus deposits. Alafu sasa ako na regulations ya what an office should have. Desk, a computer, piga desk 24, upige computers 24, upige sijui nini, ndio iwe ka ofisi yenye watu wanasema hii ni ofisi. Piga paint, pigwe party colors. Alafu lazima uwe na lease agreements za all those offices. Ukishamaliza, now you need to register 1,000 members in each of those 24 counties.
Hey.
1,000 members,
where?
Ukienda tuseme ni Ukambani, wanakuuliza nani ni chama ya Wakamba kweli? Sasa inabidi ulipe watu waingie. Ukiamua kupea kila mtu so they take your 100 bob, they join. Ukisonga kwa ile next person, they dial star what hash, they leave. Unamaliza, unafikiri umespenda 100,000 kuingiza watu 1,000, unapata wale watu 1,000 sahi wako 300.
Na hakuna kitu unaweza do.
It's a structural problem. So the easier thing to do ni kununua chama. Cheapest chama milioni 10. 10 to 20 to 30 million. Tell me, which young person is going to be able to register a party? If young people cannot register a party, from which party will they run? Because kama mwezi register chama yenu, mutarun kwa chama ya wengine.
Yeah.
Unafikiri utaenda kwa DCP useme we ni youth? Kuna kitu kama hiyo? Anataka ticket ya Roysambu constituency. Wekelea pesa. Weka pesa. So ashawekelea milioni 10, umekuja na nini? Unataka ticket ya Odhaya? So unajua uko DCP ndo kusema, na unajua the people ndo wameharibu Kenya. I'm telling you, the voters ndo wameharibu. They are so loyal to the party that usipokuwa na hiyo party ticket hakuna mtu atakusikiza.
Yeah.
Na hiyo party ticket mtu ashanunua na milioni 10 ama 20. Na uwezi kataza party leader si collect pesa kutoka kwa aspirants, kwa sababu hata party leader uko kwa national negotiations. Mimi nimeshakaa na hao watu. I've sat with Gachagua, I've sat with Martha, I've sat with Kalonzo in one table, many meetings. We've had dinner, lunch together. I know them. I don't just see them on TV. I know who we are talking about. So ukikuja pale ukae kwa meza, ukai bure, unaulizwa umeleta nini? Na ni vitu mbili tu naweza leta, pesa na watu. You can only bring money and people.
Either or, ama both.
Lazima ulete pesa na watu. So at the end of the day, vita ikifika ya campaign, lazima kila mtu ata double down. Kama okay, tumechagua candidate yetu ni Gachagua, haya wewe natembea, you still in part of this team? Yes, what are you bringing? Nini? Matiang'i, you staying? You staying. Okay, umeleta nini? Let's see what you have in cash and in people.
Watu wasimame wahesabiwe.
Sasa unajua huwezi kosa kuinvest, na huwezi kosa kuleta pesa. Ni pesa utatoa wapi? Utatoa kwa aspirants wenye wanataka kurun na chama yako. Hawa aspirants wenye wamekupatia milioni 10 ukawapatia ticket, ni watu wanaenda kufanyia kazi? Ni watu wanaenda kuibiwa. But you see, the problem begins with the voter. Voter akichange tu hivi, hiyo system yote ina collapse.
Because they depend on the naivety of the voter. The ignorance of the voter.
Wanategemea ujinga ya voter.
That is what counts. It's actually the ignorance of the voter.
Hiyo ndio ng'ombe wanakamua.
Mimi nimeona hii chama, huyu ako kwa hii chama yetu, acha tu nifanye, inaitwanga ni 6 pack kama inaitwanga aje?
6 piece wanapiga kutoka juu paka chini chama moja. Hata kama ni mwizi.
Hii chama. Let me assume they'll be okay.
Obinna, let me ask you. Watu wa Mbeere North, wao washasikia tu vizuri. Hata hawajadanganywa na mtu. Iko pale kwa gazeti kwamba kuna mtu hapa anaitwa Leonard Murioki Njeru, amebadilisha jina, anaitwa Leo wa Muthende. Badilisha hadi ID. Leonard Murioki Njeru amekuwa Leo wa Muthende. Anataka ubunge. Lakini mtu ako na corruption scandal ya oxygen plant Kenyatta National Hospital ya 700 million. Mtu wa Mbeere North akigonjekanga, referral hospital Kenya mzima yenye watu utumwa ni Kenyatta. Akienda pale akufe juu ya oxygen ni juu ya Leo wa Muthende. Lakini unapanga line unampigia. Juwezi sema aliiba hiyo kura yote. Kuna watu walipanga line wakampigia. Sasa mtu kama ule akikuibia CDF, kweli sasa yeye ndio mbaya ama ni wewe? Juu yeye is just taking advantage of a fool. So surely, for how long will we blame the cunning fox that is taking advantage of the foolish sheep? The foolish sheep needs to get wiser. Sasa ukishampigia ufai kukuteta.
Deal with it.
Sasa ishi tu maisha vile umeikubali hivi. So unakumbuka watu wakisema Ruto ni mwizi ndiye ameiba roho zetu. He stole your hearts, fine. So now let's watch where the shaman is gonna go. They were saying that.
So all of this is happening. You discovered people are reasoning like this. You're like, let me pause kidogo. Now I'm stepping down. However, also we have people who are feeling like you are a project. You've been funded. You are currently, what's this thing that frogs do to wait for the seasons?
Mutating.
Hibernating.
Hibernating.
You are currently hibernating. Unaambia tu mimi nimetoka kabisa nini. towards mid this year, towards the end of this year, we'll see the relaunch of Morara, and you'll be vying for something or taking whatever you'll be planning, and people are saying that you're a project of the government, in fact. That now you're in bed with the enemy.
This is what I can tell you. This government has been put in place by the people. It's not a government, it's not the personal property of President William Ruto or any politician. If I was to get an opportunity now, for example, a public appointment to work for the government, my salary is not the president's personal money. My salary is going to be the taxes of the taxpayers. They are the ones who will be paying me to work. And if I'm given an opportunity to work in a particular position, I would work. Joseph, when he was given the prime ministership by the Pharaoh, did not question that, oh, I'm an Israelite, this is Egypt, I'm a stranger here. He just took his position, did his best. So one thing I can assure you is my understanding of government has changed. So even if people have issues with William Ruto, let them vote him out and vote somebody better in. We will work for that government that will come. But in terms of running for a political office, hiyo mimi sijafikiria bado. Hakuna haja ni kudanganya. Hopes nilikuwa nayo imeanza kuzama, kwa sababu nilikuwa na hope when I saw Sifuna and Babu coming up. Maana niliwa call mbio na nikawatafuta haraka haraka, nikawaambia sasa fanyeni hivi. Mumepepeta jiko mumeona imeshika makaa kanashika. Juu kanashika, tengeneza chama. That's what I told Sifuna. That's what I told Babu. Wakatai. I told them that when the tide is high, Kalonzo told me that every once in a while, there are tides that come, tides of good fortune. And if men ride them, they ride them to good fortune. Nikamwambia, tide iko juu. Hata mimi kuna time tide ilikuwa juu, kuna time kaskazini tide ilikuwa juu, kuna time Okia Mtata tide ilikuwa juu. Ride the tide. Tengeneza chama sahi kabla hype ishuke. Carry that momentum, build with it. Unaona vile Gachagua alitoka kama ameimpichiwa, akatumia momentum kuunda DCP akisonga. He built on the momentum. I told them, build on that momentum, kuwa na chama, so that sisi tukue na place ya kuingia. Because I don't have to run for president. Yes, I would want to be a president of this country, because that's the office that can fix some of the problems I want to fix. But if they had a political party, hata mimi naweza sema hapana, sasa hata hii president mimi sitafuti. I'm just helping so and so become president. Not even running. Or I'm running for this other position. Then sasa saa hii, ati sasa mimi, Morara, niingie chama ya hawa wazae. Hawa wazae, waende kunifunza the same old politics. Watu wako na hopes kwangu, wanafikiria Morara, his ideas are so good, atabadilisha nini, na tayari niko kwa chama ya wazee. Kwani ni nini nitafanya kuwapinga from within their own parties? Hakuna.
Okay.
If I'm elected a member of parliament under, let's say, Fred Matiang'i's party, akinipigia simu nakimbia, because I'm his MP and he's my party leader. Ndakimbia mbio sana. Na akiniambia go vote this way, ndani nipige hivyo hivyo.
Nayo.
But sometimes ameniambia ni vote hivyo juu washaongea na president, washapiga deal yao. Ya amemwambia tu hao wabunge wangu usijali, I'll talk to them. Na labda hiyo time mimi ndo chief whip, so mimi ndo nimeambiwa ni whip hao wengine. Na ninawa whip tu. So see, once you are inside this wazee's system, you become them and you do things like them. And even if they leave power, you will also take over and behave like them.
Okay.
So until we break away from that cycle kabisa, rebel, until we rebel from that system and seek to destroy it, it will never change.
Okay. The exposes you did, Vampire Diaries, do you feel, because the way you're talking is like you feel like they never achieved anything? Did they achieve? Were they impactful?
Vibaya sana.
They were impactful.
Sana.
Did they change how Kenyans think, how Kenyans reason?
Not all of them, but a good number, yes.
A good number. So you can say we are at least in the right trajectory.
There's some work, very good work that was done. And also, there were projects the government was never going to do, but started doing. because of that Vampire Diaries. You remember the president ran to China to go and secure a loan of 40 billion for completion of some of those projects. One very significant project I know that ilileta shida enough gava ikaamua kuifanya is the illicit Rombo Ndarara Njukini Road. It begins from, after Loitoktok, there's a town called Illicit. Okay. So it begins there, it goes through a place called Rombo, then it goes to Ndarara, then it goes to Njukini in Taita Taveta. It runs along the near the Kenya-Tanzanian border. And that area is very fertile, and the water table is up, so inakuanga na a lot of tomatoes. So it was a very bad road, and ilikuwa imekuliwa 5 billion shillings. But because tulizusha na Vampire Diaries, the road is in progress and is being done. So that's an example of just one of many projects that we say there's a problem here and they happen. There are also projects we said and nothing ever happened. For example, Kipkaren Water Treatment Plant. It's next to Eldoret Airport. It was worth 1.2 billion. The contract was paid 746 million. To this day, I drive along that road because I have a house in Eldoret and I have a business in Eldoret, and the pipes are still there.
Inakuangalia tu.
So the people of Eldoret bado wako na water rationing. Kuna masiku maji haikam juu ya hiyo project yenye imekulwa pesa. So that one has never been done.
Okay.
So unless watu wa Kabonyo Kanyagwal watu waambie nao kama kuna fisheries imeanza, kama kuna any progress. But there are a few projects that have been done courtesy of the work that we were able to do.
Okay. Worst days in the office, you doing Vampire Diaries. What are the worst moments that you had? Zile ukakaa chini ukasema wacha ikae bwana.
Me, I would say my worst day was Narok.
Okay.
When the governor together with the area MP mobilized goons for us. We had gone to see Ololulunga dispensary. We had just come from Narok Hospital. Narok Referral Hospital is a big scandal. Yani that's a scandal of monumental proportion. Because a hospital was budgeted for, kachorwa na engineers na architects ikaisha.
Okay.
Ikabudgetiwa 460 million. Ikajengwa. Ikalipwa hiyo 460 million. Then another 500 million was withdrawn from the account to pay for the same hospital. So they paid double.
Paid twice.
They paid 960 million for a 460 million shillings hospital that's non-function. Yenye memea nyasi ndani, haina medical equipment, haina kitu. So 500 million was lost. They are paying for the same hospital that they paid for. So a double payment, why? So immediately we left that hospital hivi. Tukaenda Ololulunga dispensary where madawa ilikuwa inaiba kutoka kwa hiyo dispensary ikipelekwa private clinics. We were attacked. And the government even provided this official vehicle to be part of the entourage ya watu na tuattack. Unajua tutoka Ololulunga hospital tukapata watu wamejaa huko kwa barabara na mapikipiki, ni kama the army of the dead kwa Game of Thrones. We made a quick U-turn. Sisi tunakimbia the opposite direction. Hatujui hata tunaenda wapi. Tunakimbia tu.
Na gari ama kukimbia on foot?
Na magari.
Okay.
Gari moja ikafika mahali ikagonga poto likapasuka mguu. Wakashuka. Now there's a forest there. So they had to jump the electric fence ya forest kwenda kujificha. People are hurt. People are injured. One of my guys aligongwa rungu ya chuma kwa kichwa. It almost went to his skull. Another lady aliumizwa karibu avunjwe mkono, akaumizwa mguu. She had injuries. She's called Shiko. It was my lowest moment because first I felt like I'm to blame for their injuries. Kama singetoa watoto wa wenyewe kwao, nikuje kuwafanyisha hizi vitu zangu, they would be safe. Sasa mimi nimekimbia, nimeenda nimejificha kwa boma ya mtu. Wamechukua ile tandarua ya kuanika mahindi, wamefunika gari. tumejificha huko, tunatafutwa.
Sababu uko ndani ya gari?
No, tuko kwa boma sasa, tuko nda chini ya viti. Ni vitanda tumejificha. But that Maasai family, by the juzi nimeenda kuona, ni vile mimi wasitangazi vitu nafanya. But juzi nimeenda kuona nikawapelekea ng'ombe. Just gratitude tu.
Muliingia tu kwa boma yao wakasema nini?
Yes, tukawaeleza. Wakatuficha. They really helped us.
Gari yenyu likimbia mbio kuliko ndudhi. Moja zile
ndudhi Prado.
Zile zinabebanga watu watatu.
Hiyo gari unajua hata si driver yangu alikuwa anaendesha. Ni wakili wangu Gen Z pia anaitwa Solonka Pareno, pia is a Maasai. Sasa style alikanyaga hata ikaweza kufly, mimi sijui. But it was a sad day for me because after that I went to go see this guy. This guy had been taken to a nearby hospital to be stitched up. So najificha kuingia hospitali ndio niweze kuona mgonjwa wangu. You know, I'm camouflaging juu sijui kama natafutwa.
You went the following day?
Same day usiku. Unajua jamaa ameshonwa kichwa first aid. Then nimemtoa hapo nimempeleka Bomet. There is a good hospital there called Tenwek. Ametibiwa paka almost masaa kama hiyo, 2 o'clock in the morning. I think hiyo nilifeel low. I really wished they didn't suffer those injuries on my behalf.
Well,
especially the lady, you know, they even wanted to do despicable things to her. It was bad. That was a low day. Kwa siku mbaya.
Normal. It's bad. Pole kwa msiba, lakini nobody has lost a life doing what you're doing with you.
Nobody has lost a life. We are grateful.
Okay. That's a good thing to look at. Now, let's come back to Nairobi kidogo. A lot has been happening in Nairobi of late. Rains, floods. We've lost a couple of lives. And people are feeling like Sakaja is not doing what he's supposed to do. But now the Sakaja team is saying when they took power, the drainage system was already a mess. That it was constructed, I don't know in which 19 part of Puk. And it has nothing to do with them. I want to find additional county. And they're trying the best they can. And they even sent some boats and rescue people. The whole shebang. What do you think could be done better or should have been done? Or what you could have done if you were the governor, let's say?
Nairobi has a lot of money. We have to begin there.
Okay.
They have a budget of about 40 billion.
A
county like Nyamira has only 8 billion. So they have 5 times more because they are a capital city.
Okay.
But you see that 40 billion, hiyo ni ile kidogo ambayo imemanage sasa kubudgetiwa. Most of the money is stolen at revenue. And revenue, we could be losing probably about 10 to 15 billion of theft of revenue. Ambayo inaiba through hizo vitu zao kama Jambo Pay na nini and unscrupulous just revenue. Nairobi should be collecting much more than it collects. So now, we have dispensed with the question of whether Nairobi has resources. It has resources. The question is, what are the priorities? At what point does Dishi County become more important than saving lives in case of a disaster? Because you see, if things are preventable, prevent them by doing the right thing, the correct thing, the honorable thing. The honorable thing is do proper infrastructure. And that proper infrastructure, whether you need to do it to the national government or not, but just get it done. It can't be more important to buy a machine for making chapatis than to do a proper drainage system. But you see, this is what affects Nairobi. I will bring you back to the voter. Nani wanapiga kura mingi Nairobi? Ni watu wa Madhari. Okay, so mostly the informal settlement areas. Madhari, Mukuru kwa Njenga, Mukuru kwa Ruben, Kibra, Kawangware, Kangemi, you see? Where people of low income live. What do those low income people care about? Do they care about drainage? No, they don't. So now, politics usually favors where the votes come from.
Okay.
Sasa pale ukiwauliza between drainage na Dishi County,
tupe chakula.
Mimi semangi Dishi na county, Dishi County. So ukiwauliza between Dishi County na drainage, what is more important, they'll go for Dishi County because their kids don't have to be fed, they eat in school. Even though a lot of money is also being misappropriated kwa Dishi County, but they feel it's a more useful thing to them. So ule voter anaweza kuwa yeye bado hajashikanisha sasa mambo ya drainage haimuhusu yeye.
Sasa mimi na mtaro. Mimi na wewe leta chakula bwana.
Exactly. And for them, an inconvenience in town in terms of floods sometimes means money for them. Naweza kubeba na mkoko ni kuvukishe kutoka hapa kwenda pale.
True. Tunaongezezo maviatu
kwa mkono
tuchimbe hizo manini kidogo.
Kidogo. So you get the point. So there is need for civic education so that people understand what a leader is supposed to do for them. Because sometimes people ask for the wrong things from a leader.
That's true.
Because they don't even know what they should be asking for. And also, some leaders are so stupid that they ask for the wrong things from a more senior leader instead of what they should be asking for. Kwa mfano, unapata mbunge amekuwa mjinga kama watu wake, mpaka rais akikuja, badala amwambie ile vitu ya maana, anamwambia ile vitu ya ujinga.
Kama?
For example, the president has come. Amfika kwa hii shule. There are many challenges in this area. There may be a security challenge. There may be bad roads. There may be a bridge that is bad. Kama ile uliona nikipita ya Kumufunje bridge in Bungoma. People need a bridge and so on and so forth. Things that the national government can actually do and this place can. Ama hakuna level 4 hospital. They have to go like 20 kilometers to look for a hospital that has a lab. Mtu anasema sasa mheshimiwa rais vile umefika, hawa watoto wa hii shule wewe unajua huwezi kuwaacha hivi. Wewe sasa toa yao ya chapati na ya mandazi. Si akifanya hivyo atakuwa amefanya kazi mzuri. Yes. Ama hizi kwaya.
Loaves. Naona kwa akitisha loaves of bread.
You know, they ask for ridiculous things. Mimi nilikuwa nimeketi pale na nikasikiza vile hii kwaya imeimba. Na ikanikumbusha marehemu mama yangu ambaye alikuwa anaimba kwa kwaya kama hii. Mheshimiwa Rais, kama inawezekana, hii kwaya tuwanunulie uniform na tuwanunulie keyboard. It's good, but how important? It's good, but
is it immediate?
For a president mwenye amefika leo, and you know the amount of resources they control and the kind of power they have to transform ordinary people's lives, itisha kitu ya maana. Sema mheshimiwa, unajua barabara ya kutoka Minyinkwa kuenda paka Nyamataro, kuenda paka wapi, hiyo barabara ilikuwa imeallocatiwa pesa, it has never been constructed, huo contractor hajailipwa, ilikuwa hivyo, it's been like that for 5 years. Sasa mimi nashindwa hao watu si watanipiga mawe na wananionanga na wewe kila siku. Wanaweza fikiri sikuulizange. Hebu confirm kwanza kwamba nimekuuliza, alafu useme vile mambo ya barabara itakuwa. That's a more useful thing.
Okay.
Si ndio?
Okay.
Sasa lakini sasa huyu mtu atatisha kitu very ridiculous. Atatisha reflector za watu wa pikipiki.
Okay. Sakaja also signed an 80 billion deal with the president. When mambo linaenda segemnege, so kidogo akambia the national government assist. It didn't sit well with a lot of people. Okay, a couple of people. They're like, sasa huyu kama ameshapeleka tena huku, si ndio kitu Sonko alifanya na akakuja kusema alichezwa. Then amepeleka, how will he come and ask us for more votes in 2027? Do you think that was the right decision for him to do that with the national government?
Did he have an option? Is the question.
There's always an option.
If he had options, then it is the wrong thing to do.
Okay.
If he did not have an option, why doesn't he have an option? Why did we elect him? Because we didn't give him executive power to be powerless.
Yeah.
Si tumempatia power by election in the ballot.
True.
We've given him control
of
our government.
Have a solution.
A county is a county government. So what is the purpose of devolution? Because I remember they had this ilikuwa inaitwa Kenya mpya ama ilikuwa inaitwa nini? They were a team of senators, yeye when they were senators, yeye Mtula Kilonzo Jr. Wanda walikuwa watetezi wa devolution. You see, they are protecting devolution. So how are they protecting devolution if they are ceding functions to the national government? You know they are endorsing the idea that hatuwezi jimanage, mtu manage, of which the national government is also in a crisis. Sasa wewe mtu wako kwa tabu, bado ndo napelekea tabu yako, si afadhali hata deal nayo? Ama the national government is running better? If the national government was running better, we would say, okay, let's hand over the national government.
You take over, at least thank God.
But how? The national government is not running any better. Si ndio inapea watu fertilizer yenye imechanganywa sijui mchanga na sijui na nini.
So basically you're saying you take a problem, you hand it over to another person with a problem.
To another problem, so that now it's an uji of problems. Yeah.
We've also seen a lot of things are happening at the moment, and we have new entrants in the political scene. For example, in 2027, at the moment, Babu Owino is going for governor. And Sifuna has not announced what he's going for. However, Jalango has said, now I'm coming to replace Sifuna on that position. And Eric is saying like he's going to Langata or something. People are speculating Winnie might go for either Langata or Kibra or something. How do you see it playing out in 2027 around Nairobi?
The biggest challenge, unaona kama Babu na Sifuna wangeunda chama, they would have carried everything in Nairobi. 17 constituencies wangechukua kama zote, kama wangemiss mbili. And I already know which ones. Wangemiss probably Roysambu na Dagoretti South. Lakini wangechukua kama zote.
Oh, interesting.
They would have taken senator, governor and women rep. But they didn't. Now that they didn't, and they haven't yet. So if we operate under those circumstances, Nairobi's presidential politics, how the presidential politics plays on the national scale is how it cascades down to Nairobi, because Nairobi is a representation of the country. So what happens is the two main presidential contenders and their political parties will be the biggest winners in Nairobi. So if 2027 is between William Ruto and Rigathi Gachagua as a candidate, that those are the two, for example, I'm giving you an example, the opposition has not decided, but assuming those were the two leading presidential candidates, Nairobi would boil down to just that. So UDA would take some seats and DCP would take some seats. Now, is Babu intending to join UDA, or has he wanted to join DCP? That's a question. Because Babu pande ya UDA ni broad base. They're going to work maybe with ODM, for example. So their candidate is more likely Sakaja. It's not a guarantee, just more likely. Sababu pesa ni mingi, mtu akiongea anamfunga mdomo na pesa. Mwingine akiongea anajaza mdomo na pesa. Ukipiga kelele anajua wewe ni njaa, anakujaza na pesa.
Sakaja.
The only person who has made more money than Zagaja is Ruto. There's even no cabinet secretary ametengeneza pesa Zagaja ametengeneza Nairobi.
Really?
Yeah.
You think so?
Oh.
How?
There is even no cabinet secretary amepiga deals zenye Zagaja amepiga. Zagaja has made money. Unajua in Nairobi city vile inatoshana kweli. And the kind of deals people make here. Tuanze tu na za mashamba. It's a mess. So, is more likely the candidate on that side. Okay. Pande ya DCP, we don't know who the candidate will be. But my own conversation with Gachagua and the way niliwasikiza, they are leaning towards the tribal angle, that their candidate for Nairobi must be a Kikuyu. They feel that Kikuyus are the majority in the city, and they've not been getting that position of governor since 2013. So they feel this time they should work to get it. So there's a likelihood that they really need the candidate to be a Kikuyu. They've not decided, maybe it's Gakuyu or somebody else, but there's a likelihood that that is the case. So unless Babu is able to join that side and negotiate a deal with them and agree wampatie, if they will, then hapa katikati sijui yako wapi, kwa sababu hapa katikati chama hakuna. So unless urun kama independent, ukirun kama independent unakuwa kama Kawera Mwangaza. Hii ni Nairobi city ya Makatel. Ukielectiwa hapa independent governor, hapa umalizi miezi 3 ama 4, kwa sababu ma MCA utapata 40 ni wa DCP, 20 ni wa UDA. Wewe impeachment yake inakuja 4 months 5 months hivi umeenda. So that's why I'm saying it was a blunder not to have a political party of our own, kwa sababu now we are at the mercy of people like Gachagua and Ruto with UD and DCP.
But there was a memo that a circular that was making rounds that they wanted to put Babu as SG and Winnie as deputy party leader. You saw that?
I saw that.
And they came out to say it was a scam. Would that work?
What is their plan? They are not going to take over the party. Party iko kwa mdomo ya Nyang'au. Unless wataka kuumwa mkono, chama hawatatoa kwa mdomo ya Nyang'au. So wanarun wapi aje na tikiti gani? So they better have a party, by the way. Otherwise hiye sabu haingiani. Ruto is somebody who can wash everybody, by the way. Unajua anaweza waidia tu kura wote kabisa. Kwani alifanya nini na Jubilee ile siku alibangle nominations? Alibangle nominations intentionally ndiye akuje kuimanage. Akaambia Uhuru usijali, I'm handling it. Alifanyaje? Akaosha nini? Akaosha nini mtu wa Kiambu Kabogo, akaweka mtu wake wa Ititu. Aliosha makandidates. Hiyo time ndiye amepea kina Ndindi Nyoro ma ticket. Those people were anti-Ruto in Central. Hakuna mwenye alipata ticket ya Jubilee. Aliwaosha.
Kwisha.
Watu wakapata ticket ya Jubilee, watu wenye ni wa Ruto. That is why Mount Kenya MPs were able to rebel against Uhuru, because they were not Uhuru's MPs. They were Ruto's MPs. Sasa ndio nasema usifikiria ati Ruto juu anapigana for president haizi riga hao watu wengine. Anaweza panga tu CIBC ni yake. Na ni yeye ameweka. Na ni watu wake. Akitaka anakupatia ballot paper zako unalala nazo kwa nyumba. Unapea tu watu wanashinda wakitik tu, wakitik. Siku ya election kunakuwa na vurugu kwa polling station. Vurugu nini, kumbe washabadilisha ballot box. Ile ballot box imepigwa kura tangu asubuhi, wameenda nayo wameleta ingine yenye na pre-marked ballot papers. Alafu wanaanza kukua wakali, wanasema wacheni vurugu. Hesabini kura. Unahesabu kura yenye imereplacewa. So mimi nasema watu wawe careful. Okay. He is not incapable. Especially kama anaona uko na future na hauko na yeye. Akiona uko na future, you know you are going to be a danger to siasa yake ya mbele. Jusi yako na plan after ametoka uongozi. Hii pesa yote ameaccumulate, anaweza kosa ana plan. Trillions of money.
Definitely a plan somewhere.
He must be having a plan of how he'll safeguard interests zake. Sasa kama anaona wewe utakuja kuwa hatari wewe, either you work with him ama akusumbue. And the best way for you to survive kama hauko na yeye is to be with others in a coalition of a political party that is so strong, ara akiipiga hawezi. He just has to work with it or tolerate it. Inafikiria point yenye mko beyond him, you are just supposed to be tolerated. But sasa ukizunguka tu country mkipiga rally lakini hamjai boil down to something, to an organization of some sort, then bado
it's just more of an idea.
Itakuwa kazi. Na ujue mtu ako register political party bado ni wake. Na sahi every party that is changing officials goes through NIS first. Mambo yako inaendelea kwa register political party, si mimi nimengangana kwa hiyo ofisi kiatu imeishia huko. Ukitaka kuchange officials wa chama sahi, vetting NIS lazima. Na ukienda pale RPP hata wakudanganya, wanakuambia by the way file yako tulimaliza ilienda NIS. NIS haina front desk reception. Mahali unaweza enda uulize ni aje nisikia file yangu ilikuja hapa mbona isongi. Haina. NIS can sit for it for 2 years. Wakifanya tu vetting. So pale iko tabu kidogo. Kwa hivyo watu people must be careful how we approach this thing. Yeah. Pia tusi approach ni kama ati he is so weak kumwangusha ni rahisi. We have to be strategic, we have to be organized, and we have to do it early. Because tayari sasa ndio tunaelekea Easter. Time is not on our side. Kama tulikuwa tufanye kitu tuifanye saa hii. Utasema ati tungojane paka November wakati campaign fever imeshika.
That's true.
At that time everybody will be running and crashing to get a party ticket for some party. Utapata sasa mwishowe umechukua party ticket ya chama kama PDP ndo una run now for Nairobi governor. Haina MC hata wawili. Ni wewe pekee, ukichaguliwa ni wewe pekee kwa hiyo chama. Then Nakawera Mwangaza is done on you. And you go home.
Okay. When you come back, I want us to talk about the former Foreign Affairs Minister, Raphael Tuju, and the situation. We want to talk about the Kenyan budget. There's an expectation that the budget is going to be released around June. And it's about 4.18 trillion. So we're going to be talking about that. Then also, let's talk about Tukokadi, this movement that has started that young people are trying to make it cool to get voters card. Is it... When he looks at it, does it have a lifespan? Ama ni kitu tu ya saini moto ya gazeti. Then also touch kidogo pale ODM. We've seen the split that's there. What is the future of ODM looking like? Hawa wenye wako kwa gava, wako broad based, wanataka power. Ama wengine ya kuku nje. For now, Kenyan glamour and pop the balloon. See you in a bit. I'm standing in this beautiful space known as Kenya Glamour. What we do is we specialize on making you look beautiful. Or better yet, beautifully amazing with quality grade A or better yet A1 material. I'm talking about clothes. Kama ni luku, Kenya Glamour got you sorted. Hizi manguo za hapa buda, hizi luku ya hapa, hii luku imepanda ndege. Suit moja idonda, ndio hii sasa. We are located on Koinange Street, just opposite Kemu Towers. This building is known as Kenya House Complex. Just on the ground floor, you'll just see Kenya Glamour. Ingia ndani. Pitia sema ni Obinna amekutuma, leta familia, leta mpoa wako, akuje tumbalishe hivi.
Geuka, nika unanionyesha jezi namba mafrr. Mbanya stafanya nitake namba.
Unaona na macho nne, you might be seeing better.
Onyango. So hujai kuwa na mtu?
Sijawahi.
Mtembea kidogo.
Oh my God! Wow!
Hujawahi jaribu kutafuta mtu?
Polygamy.
What is wrong with you? Even
Oh, shh.
Hey! Yo!
Wow, are your walls looking plain and uninspired? Transform your space with premium wall panels, elegant marble PVC with stunning backlighting, and modern floating TV stands. All designed to give your home a luxurious, timeless finish. At Mr. Frames Kenya, we offer top quality designs at unbeatable prices. Whether you're going to a classic or modern look, we've got the perfect solution for your home or office. Call or WhatsApp us today on 0705 759 102 or connect with us on social media. Mr. Frames Kenya. Mr. Frames Kenya, where style meets affordability.
Usiguze hapo.
Umeona Korir? Umeona akipita hivi hapo? All right, welcome back. This is Obinna Show live, of course, live from Obinna TV studios. It's 2 in the AM. Na bado mko na sisi. Thank you very much. We do not take that for granted. Former Foreign Affairs Minister Raphael Tuju is currently having a very bad day in the office. Clear indication that power is transient. He's been a force to reckon with for a long while. Then all of a sudden, in less than a month ago, we just started seeing things. You're like, okay, we thought it'll end. It just keeps getting worse and worse and worse. Recently, about a few hours ago, he resurfaced after speculation that he had been kidnapped or abducted or arrested. He resurfaced, and then the video that we have seen, he's at Karen police station, and he's not in a very good position. He's reeling in pain. And he's saying they've killed him, saying they've taken whatever. What do you think that whole situation is? Because people are feeling like the people have a hand in it. The people are feeling he just made wrong business decisions. The people feel like he's paying for his sins. What do you think?
Okay, generally Tuju is a gentleman. Ananga maneno mingi. I've interacted with him many times. I've also been to Team Sidai. We've had lunch together. He's a gentleman. Na ni mtu alianza kuwork hard kitambo. And he got really good jobs at a young age, you know, in the US and other places, and he was able to build wealth kitambo. Whether or not he has a loan, clearly he did have a loan, and the loan was supposed to be paid for. Of course, his argument is that the loan was supposed to come in 2 tranches. He only got the first tranche to buy land. Then the second tranche to construct, he did not get it. And because he didn't get it, was not able to generate revenue to repay the loan.
Yeah.
But you see now, banks don't reason like that. Banks hawakupatiangi pesa ati juu ya pesa utatengeneza after wamekupea pesa.
Yeah.
Hawakupei pesa ati ukifungua Obinna Studios itakuwa na revenue, alafu ikikuwa na revenue utaweza kutulipa. That's not how they
don't
think.
care.
What they do is uko na nini sahi, niko na Obinna Studios but ni ndogo kidogo. How much revenue are you generating? Okay, we loan you on that revenue. Ya chenye unafanya sahi, sio chenye utakuja kupata, so that whatever happens, whether you fail or succeed, loan yetu bado is payable. Of course, there are powerful people who want that land in Karen, because land in Karen is not easy to find, kwa sababu especially the number of acres he has, si rahisi kupata, and then it's very prime mahali iko. Kuna iko na karibu na Karen the hub, na kuna iko karibu na St. Christopher School, very prime. So most likely the people who wanted to buy the land are also powerful people with money. Okay, wenye walikuwa wanangoja hivi iseme tu ina auctioniwa uwekeledo, na umeshawajua sasa the owners of Starbex Petroleum, of course with the assistance of the government and the state. I sympathize with him, but that's just how it is in business. He should not take it too hard on himself. Business people, hiyo ni kitu tunakuanga tu tumekubali kwamba leo uko nayo, kesho unaweza kuwa uko nayo, na leo unaweza kuwa hata sasa inaweza kuwa ni kwa Obinna Studios na auctioneers wananingoja hapa nje wachukue gari kwa sababu nimechelewa kulipa loan moja. And because of the tough economic times, many people are defaulting. I think umeona gazeti siku hizi imejaa auction. Yes, vehicles. You've seen even banks like NCBN, Morg of microfinance, selling vehicles.
Yeah.
And they are selling vehicles at throwaway prices,
Even some from the government.
Watu wamerepossessiwa magari sana. Hata even you watch TikTok, Facebook, people are giving stories of how they've lost. Even Cairo, he's already been auctioned. So many people are getting auctioned. In fact, there are more people losing wealth than people building wealth right now. So things like this will happen, and they'll not just happen to the low in society. They'll also happen to the high, because they also have property and they eat one another. You used to be powerful, I'm powerful now, sasa ndakunyang'anya wewe pia ulikuwangu unafanya hivi. So he shouldn't take it too hard on himself. Take it easy, just go somewhere, take a very cold shower, have some orange juice, relax, sikiza mziki, kula. Auction diko
very easy to say, take some orange juice. Sai tuja hizi kula na ingie kwa hiyo tumbo.
Ndio nakwambia sasa, acceptance is the first step towards healing. He needs to heal.
26 acres.
He needs to heal.
In Karen, let me just accept.
Sasa,
Morara,
utafanyaje?
let me throw this spanner in the works. I've seen the renovations you've done at Morara Home Furniture. You even moved. And I've seen you doing cabro even for the neighbors. Ulisema, the last video I watched for you doing that thing, you said, nimetengeneza mpaka hapa, lakini nataka kupeleka mpaka huko. The way now it looks premium. Then ukuje upate na bebwa yote. Na hiyo cabro inafaa ibomole yote hapo, wanakuambia nini. Will you just take juice and accept and heal?
At some point you'll have to.
But it's not that easy, right?
It's not easy. I'm not saying it's easy. I'm saying at some point you have to. At some point you have to take it easy on yourself. And also, ajue all great business people, okay, most of them, they failed at some point.
Okay.
In fact, they were almost auctioned, or some were even auctioned. Most failed before they actually succeeded now. Okay. So take it as a lesson in the school of life. Carry on, chase your dreams. The Lord who gave you wealth can give you more. He can buy even 50 acres in Karen if he wants. One, he has experience in government and in the private sector. He knows how to speak, he's very confident, he has networks. So if he wants to rebuild wealth, he can rebuild it. He's not too old. Asijione ni kama sasa this is the end of life.
He doesn't have time.
Ya, anaweza work tu tena na kuja kupata kwa na 100 acres na kuanga nakumbuka hiyo siku alikuwa ananyang'anywa 36 acres, how painful it was. So my only thinking is he shouldn't take it too hard on himself, because otherwise atakuwa na mashida za pressure nini, and at this age itamuua, and property is not worth dying for.
High blood pressure yake niko sure iko over the roof.
Iko over the roof. Yeah. But I'm telling you, property is not worth dying for. You have it today, you don't have it tomorrow.
Life goes on.
Umenunua gari safi sana imetoka showroom. Umenunua cash. Alafu beshte yako amekuadvise, umesema unaweka comprehensive ya nini? Upige hesabu ya comprehensive ya hii gari. Mnapiga na yeye, mnaona ai pesa zinaweza nunua hata kadudu tena. Nasema hapana, weka third party. Hii gari ikiscratchiwa, ingia kwa garage, jipigie rangi. Jui insurance unalipa ni mingi, hutawahi spend pesa.
It's a scam.
Nasema yenyewe uko na point. Alafu inabebwa na floods hapa za Sakaja. Imenock engine, ni write off. Na ni third party. Unapoteza gari you've saved. Ununua gari ya pesa mingi, you lose it. So that's what I'm telling you, property is not worth dying for. You can have it today, you don't have it tomorrow. Leo uko na nyumba 6 bedroom, a mansion, kesho unaambiwa na auctioneers toka, tunataka kufunga nyumba yetu. Kuna customer anakuja kuona. Cleaners washafika, they want to clean your house because the next customer is supposed to come. Uko na vitu mingi hivi, unashindwa hii 1 bedroom unahamia. Unapeleka wapi gym equipment? Utapeleka wapi 7-seater sofa? Na huko kunaingia tu 3-seater. So it happens in life. You go up, you may come down, and there are people who may laugh at you when you come down. How you take it is what determines vile kutaenda kwenda mbele. It's just like when we were in campus, there are those student leaders who are really good. Then because they were really good, the administration, sometimes ilikuwa inataka obedient students. The rebellious ones iwe inawataka, and yet the rebellious ones are the talented ones. So inawapiga ma suspension ama expulsion. Then they take it too hard on themselves. They start kukunywa pombe because they are frustrated. Kunywa pombe, kukunywa weed, nini, frustrations. Then they became junkies, drug addicts. Nothing became of them. But those who took it positively, suspension iliisha, ama expulsion iliisha, ama a new private university accepted them and they went and redid their degree, and they're out here living their lives of their choice.
Okay.
So anything that happens to you, even pregnancy, I see people taking it too hard on themselves. Me, my mom got me when she was in Form 3.
Ooh.
And here I am, very successful by my own standards. I only measure myself by my standard. So I
Yeah, that's
believe
the way
I am
it's supposed to be.
successful.
Yeah.
But my mother got me in Form 3. Now if everybody had said, this Form 3 girl, she's already a failure, nini, and she took it seriously, she wouldn't be where she is. I mean, Professor Olive Mugenda got pregnant when she was in school. Sabina Chege got pregnant when she was in school. So msikuange mnaona watoto wenye wameget pregnant wakiwa shule hadi sasa hao washa fail kwa maisha. People get suspended or expelled out of national schools. I was suspended and expelled from Maseno school. And I still scored an A from a village school. Now watu tukapatana nao university huko. Tulikuwa nao huko. So I mean, nobody should take anything too hard. Things fail and they do. Take it easy. Amka, dust yourself, do something. You might actually do something better than what you had.
Would you say the same thing for Nairobi Hospital? Take it easy, breathe, because we've had some doctors who've been in jail, the cell.
Well, they should take it easy. But story at Nairobi Hospital is a different story. Because Nairobi Hospital is like an NGO.
Okay.
It's a company limited by guarantee. A company limited by guarantee is owned, it's not even owned, it's controlled by members of the Kenya Hospital Association. Okay? They are not supposed even to draw benefit from it. The profits za hiyo hospitali zinarudi kujenga hospitali. Si ati wako huko kama shareholders. They're just there as members of the trust. It's a trustee relationship. But now, somebody wants to use political power to convert a public benefit organization into a private company of shares so that then they can own it now. Because once you convert it to shares, who will be the shareholder? Anyway, then you own the hospital. So it's all about the hospital. And I think it may not even be about the hospital, it may be about the land where the hospital is. Because it's prime land in Upper Hill.
You're thinking like that?
Yeah, where an acre
Someone
is
bring
almost
down
a
that
billion.
hospital and put...
Mtu anaangusha hospitali anajenga mall hapo. Ama anajenga mall kwa parking. Ile parking kubwa Nairobi Hospital iko nayo pale.
But they kuna space, kuna Doctors Plaza, kuna sijui huku chini.
Yeah, somebody might be thinking of doing a mall there and is wondering mbona watu wanamsumbua.
Or even the high
Let me
rise.
tell you. Si kila mtu kwa hii dunia anaamini akitaka kitu anunue. There are people who feel they are powerful enough to grab it. Why should they buy if they can grab? Kuna mtu ako na pesa. He's a millionaire or a billionaire. Uko na your own 5 acres of land. Anaweza kuapproach tu umuuzie. Lakini hataki kukuapproach umuuzie. Anataka kukufrustrate ama akufanyie nini?
Kwa mtwist.
Ndiye akunyang'anye. Sio umuuzie, akunyang'anye. So there are people who are so used to grabbing, they don't even want to waste money to buy. They just want to grab. Ujaiona mtu, a very rich person, anaingia kwa duka ya a struggling Gen Z tao, anachukua goods, na juu ni mtu popular, so huyu Gen Z anaamini huyu hatakosa kulipa. Then huyu mtu anaanza kusumbua kulipa. Like Oga Obinna. Like if you walk into a phone shop in town, you know, there's a likelihood kama unataka simu, yani, first they are awed to see you, and they are really happy to see you because they are your fans. So ile simu utataka, they might give you, ukiwaambia utalipa baadaye wakuje check kwa ofisi yako, they might be tempted to believe
Take your
you.
word for it.
And then wakikuja hapa muneza mbea fukuza hiyo watu wakwende huko. Ati pesa yao gani?
That's true. And there are people who do that.
There are people who are like that. Kwani sikuna mbunge ambaye ni con 20,000 ya fuel. Ni aje bro? Simu yangu ifanyi. Niko hapa niweke hii mafuta, takusort baadaye. Mnaanza sasa kupigiana masimu. Mheshimiwa, kwani umefanya namna gani? You never believe that a member of parliament can con you. Anakukon kabisa. There's even another one who conned chama ya wamama ati anawapeleka kwa Ruto. And Ruto was running for president. Juzi tu, na asifikirie nimesahau, aliwakon. Aliambia chama ya wamama wawekanishe pesa pamoja, wampe pesa aenda ongeleshe president. President atawaona.
Mkafanya business legit.
So you see, there are people who have the money But they don't believe in buying. They believe in grabbing. Even if you give them services, they don't want to pay for it. And you know, all these wanataka mtafutane, umpeleke kotini, ufanye nini, ndio akuje kukulipa.
Okay.
So I feel sad about those people who usually want to grab things off the cheap.
Okay. ODM are split in two. There is Linda Ground and Linda Mwananchi.
Power.
Does Linda Ground have power that they're looking for? And do they have a chance of getting the power? For example, now they want either to front Wanga or someone to run for deputy president. And they're like, are we going to get it? And we're in this broad base and Baba left us here and we are staying over here. Do they think they stand a chance to be given a fair hearing or a fair chance with the current regime?
My question would be, okay, or my answer would be in form of a question. Does Ruto want a strong ODM or a weak ODM? My answer is he wants a weak ODM. A strong ODM will have negotiating power. And negotiating power means watamsumbua. Watamsumbua in terms of demanding for cabinet positions, demanding for PS positions, demanding for ambassador positions, demanding for, you know, all these things. So if he can get ODM, if he can get the Luo vote with splinter groups of ODM and other things, he'd be happy that way. Now Ruto's style, he is not structural in how he approaches the voter. Ruto hakujangi through broker. Yes, Kinawanga may be positioning themselves to auction the Luo vote to Ruto in exchange for, you know, hii ndio tunataka. But that's not what Ruto does. Ruto likes going to the people direct. Anawaomba kura, wanampenda, wanaamua watampea kura. Sasa wewe, upende usipende, hawa washaamua kumpea kura. Sasa ni umfuate ama uwache. In 2022, if Gachagua ran for Mathira MP without a UDA ticket, angeshinda. Wewe unaonaje? Unakumbuka the fever that UDA had in Mount Kenya?
They loved them.
Gachagua angejaribu kurani bila UDA ticket Mathira, angepata. Kwa nini? Ruto alikuwa shaenda kwa Mkikuyu, ashamuomba kura. Mkikuyu ashakubali kumpa. Sasa wewe, you have to tag along. If you don't tag along, unazama.
Join the queue.
So that's what Ruto will do with Nyanza. He won't wait for brokers to put people together, then sell the vote to him. Okay. He'll go for the vote, then nyinyi mtajipanga sasa vile mnataka.
Okay.
So they are playing a game they haven't understood yet.
Do you see him losing in 2027?
No.
President Ruto will get re-elected.
Mtu pekee angemshinda ni sisi. Peke yake, haki ya Mungu.
Sisi means inject?
No, the young people. Unaona the youth of Kenya, wangekuwa ati wamejiconsolidate, ati this is between them and Ruto, ati na wako na candidate. Ruto angeona giza. Hata kura angeiba, hata ibisiwe yake. Hata achukue tu his own mother, aweke chair wa IBC, bado angeshinda hiyo kura. Ukweli. But he is very lucky. He is lucky that Kenyans are still tribal. So now,
sadly,
he is able to talk to different tribes. Anajua hapa niko na Kalonzo, hiyo ni Wakamba. Hapa niko na so and so, hiyo ni ya Waluya. Hapa niko na so and so, hizo ni za Wajaluo. Hapa niko na so and so, hizi ni za watu wa Northeastern. Hapa niko na so and so, hizo ni za watu wa Coast. Wagiriama, Wapokomo, ameshapiga hesabu. Sasa unajua hesabu ya tribalism huwezi shinda Ruto unless he is not there. Unless by some miracle hayuko. But hesabu ya tribalism, there is no way unaweza ipiga ushinde Ruto. And you know, people think ati Gachagua anataka kutoa Ruto. Those people are not interested in removing Ruto. They're interested in having enough members of parliament to negotiate with Ruto in 2028 post-election deal. So wao wanatafuta wabunge enough na magavana. Kama Gachagua wana target 10 counties, he needs 10 counties to control. So atakuwa na control resources za hizo counties. So anataka Nakuru, anataka Nyandarua, anataka Nyeri, anataka Kirinyaga, anataka Embu, anataka Tharaka Nithi, anataka Meru, anataka Murang'a na Kiambu, and I've forgotten one more, either Nairobi ama Mombasa. Anataka hizo 10. So you'll be controlling the county resources za hizo county. Usifikiri ni pesa kidogo. Nakuru pekee ni 20 billion. Kiambu ni 20 billion. Ishafika 40 billion. So this guy wants to control like 200, 300 billion in counties. Then MPs anataka kama 100. So yeye amepiga hesabu yake na ishaingiana. In fact, Gachagua is not going to lose 2027. Bet yake ishaingiana kabisa. Asha capture mind. Najua asha capture mind, watampa wabunge. Sasa Mkenya amekaa huko chini anafikiria ati hao wanapanga kutoa Ruto. Is wrong. Hawa mpige hesabu yao ishaingiana. Mtu angetoa Ruto ni the youth peke yake. Atungesikia ati mimi, wewe, sijui Eric Omondi, nani, all these young people. Ati sasa ati tumeshikana tuko na candidate hapo mbele, hata akue ni as weak as a donkey, lakini ati sisi tuko nyuma yake. Angeona giza mapema. But why? Because first he doesn't know who we are. So haezi to position, haezi tuita Wajaluo, haezi tuita Wakikuyu, haezi tuita Waluya. So ni kama tsunami ya maji, unaiona ndio ile kutoka huko, but uko helpless. Juu huwezi kimbia, huwezi panda mti. Juu unaona ile kama gari imekuja kutoka imebeba manyumba na magari. Wewe utapanda mti? Utakimbia? Utaenda? You just wait to see what happens. So hapo angekuwa helpless. Lakini juu amemanage kurudisha game kwa tribe na pia sisi tukarudi tukaingia. Kalash. Guy is gonna be president bio sana. In fact, anaweza tushtua pata hata 70%.
You think so?
Haki ya Mungu.
With the current hosting
just need to mess up and have a bad candidate na uone.
Oh, okay. We had spoken about the Babu and Sifuna faction, and you said something about it, so I'll not go into them, but now I'll come back to the budget. About 4.18 trillion. What do you think of that budget, first of all? Is it a good budget? Is it a bad budget?
It's what we usually have, but of course with a lot of misplaced priorities.
Okay. They said there's about 7.1% increase in expenditure from last year. What's your take?
Yeah, unajua the budget, as per our title today, the budget of Kenya is just a scam. First, is it a budget? Why am I asking that question? Budget inafaa kufuata the policy decision of the government. That mwaka huu tumeona tufanye ABCD yenye iko na impact kwa the public. Hii budget wakipitishanga hata sio hiyo utumika. What they usually do, wanatengeneza budget. Wakisha tengeneza budget, wanafanya ka public participation ka haraka. Kabla upinge, wamepitisha. After wameshapitisha, ile budget mulifikiria ndio imepita, munasikia kuna supplementary 1. Budget imekuja sasa, hiyo iende public participation, kuna supplementary 2, supplementary 3, all of which change the budget significantly. So unapata ile budget mulisomewa June, na what the government has ended up doing, they are two worlds apart. So it's not real. It's just something we are told. It's a lecture. It's a public lecture by some professor. Yeah, it's a performance. It's not what they intend to do. Now, if you go to the specifics of that budget, now that is where the mess is. Because around 1 trillion will be going to servicing debt interest, not principal, interest. 1T unabaki na 3.2, sio?
Yeah.
Around 700 B inaenda kwa principal repayment. Sasa 1.7 trillion is debt, principal and interest. And you know where most of that debt is? Local, domestic debt.
Our banks.
Our banks. And do you know who the shareholders of those banks are? The same old guys. Ndio maana iko hivyo. Sasa hawa watu, they borrow from, ndio maana banks hazitupei pesa. Do they have one big client called government? They don't even need us. They can survive without us. Kitambo ulikuwa na bembelezo ufungue account. Watu wa bank walikuwa natembea kama watu wa insurance. Habari, naweza nikakufungulia account Equity. Naweza nikakufungulia account Equity. Saa hizi wako na kiburi. Hey, why? Because of that domestic borrowing. So the politicians through proxies have shares in banks, and they make sure the government borrows heavily from those banks, and they make sure we are borrowing at high interest rate, Shylock rates, so that we pay a lot of interest. So then they roll back the money. Ni money laundering. That's why we are told we are a criminal economy. We are not a real economy running properly. We are just a criminal economy. So 1.7 trillion will go to debt. 700 and something billion is what they will take to development.
Yeah, there is education has been given the largest share, 701.1 billion.
Kama kawaida. 700 billion usually goes to education, but ni ya wizi tu.
500.7 infrastructure, energy, ICT. Health is 136.8. County governments, they're taking 405.1. But then our recurrent expenditure peke yake tuko na 3.09 trillion.
Aya, sasa unaona hapo kwa recurrent, hapo iko mambo, kwa sababu hapo ndo mahali ya fake workers inaingilia.
Ghost.
We have hundreds of thousands of fake workers in the government payroll. And who earns their salaries? I don't know. Aya, zile vitu kama sijui pesa sijui inaenda kuzui kwa bibi, spouse of sijui which office, iko hapo kwa hiyo recurrent expenditure, because hiyo ni goods and services. Hii pesa hii sijui State House has spent this much for travel, iko hapo kwa recurrent expenditure. Travel, mtu ana travel na paka girlfriends, you know, they hire private jets sijui from which country. Yani luxury when Kenyans are suffering. Na sasa kwa hayo yote wataka tulaumu wanasiasa ama mwapiga kura?
Ignorance is not an excuse and is not a defense in the court of law. So now me I'll say tupambane tu na pambane tu kivyetu. Because we blamed wapiga wanasiasa, but we're the ones who elect them. Over and over and over. And just like you've said, especially when they pull the tribal card, even you when you get there, you want to do the 6-piece, you want to send in Mtuetu, you want to do whatever. I told people, when they had the chance to elect Boniface Mwangi, they ignored the guy. They had a chance to elect someone else. Right now, Maraga is running around there saying he doesn't have charisma. And Morara was there. They told Morara, oh, you are stealing from us. Someone else came. So we'll keep having this thing happening over and over and over and over until we learn the lesson.
You know, it's such a bad mess because iko hadi kwa military na police. Hii kitu kama ingekuwa kwa military na police, this country will be better. What do you need to run a government? You need guns and money. The guns are with the police and the military. Walingiza tribalism kwa our disciplined forces. Sasa wewe mbunge wa kabila fulani, hiyo kabila ndio iko kwa serikali, unapewa mabarua ya jeshi 100. Unapata sub county moja huko iko na recruits 200 ama 100. Kwetu 1 per sub county. Wakienda sana 3 per sub county.
Sasa wakiingia pale jeshi, mnapata watu wa huko ni wengi na watu wa huku mko kamoja. So hata wakati promotions itakuja, I mean mathematics, chances probability high, yeah. Chances are high that hawa ndio watakuwa major, hawa ndio watakuwa lieutenant, hawa ndio watafika kuwa brigadier, hawa ndio watafika kuwa general. Sasa unapata hata kwa service members ni tribe tu. Yeah. So how then do you run that security? Unajua the same problem facing NIS. And there is a time I read an NIS report kitambo tu. One happened to leak to me because ilikuwa ina news. I read it and I just knew this person didn't do any work. Juu amesema vitu za jaba kunihusu. I expect the NIS to know me better than I know myself. Sio? Sasa ukisoma NIS report kukuhusu na usome jaba, inamaanisha msee ilifika tu time akaona mdosi anataka ile report. Tufanya aje? Kaa chini, mtu andike hiyo report. Akaandika tu jaba, sign, skuma. NIS has been affected by tribalism and cronism. Watoto wa wakubwa NIS. Watoto wa wakubwa, almost every political family has a child in NIS. Na wanawekwa vitu, you head of political affairs, you head of what? They are not collecting intelligence. No, things keep catching us by surprise. Watu wanaweza shika tu ni bloggers because they can track the blogger na namba ya simu ama IP address ama waende Kenya Power waone mahali analipa token waende kwa nyumba yake. That's the easy part. The harder part is actually collecting the intelligence that matters, that keeps a country safe. Intelligence that predicts food shortage, for example.
Yeah.
Intelligence that can predict flood deaths.
It's like El Nino is coming.
Intelligence tu ati ya nani atakuja kuattack na grenade. It's all round. Sasa watu wanashinda tu wakiwa caught by surprise. Caught by surprise. Caught by surprise. Because you have an intelligence service where people are being hired in cronism and political godfathers. Sasa hawajakuja kazi. Sasa mtu mshahara yake ni 1,100 na amepark Range Rover autobiography kwa parking, amekuja kazi. Ukweli tu amekuja kazi ama ni amesumbua mzazi mpaka mzazi amemtafutia mahali atakuanga anakaa ndio awe busy. So in the end we even endanger our own country. Juu kuna kazi zingine hazitaki hiyo jokes.
That's true.
Atunachukua tu mtu hataki kazi mnamweka tu.
Some places you have to earn with merit. In Kenya, who's your dad, who's your mom? Weka mtu hapa pastime.
Professionalism. Sasa hiyo ndio shida. Sasa hiyo political cronism, mtu hataki kazi ndiye anapewa kazi. Mtu anataka kazi, anawekwa pale afanyie mwenye hataki kazi. Sasa unapata your boss hataki kazi. Unaingia kwa ofisi, mara heels zinamuumiza, ashatoa, amekelea miguu juu ya desk, files hazisongi, kazi ifanyiki, sensitive information that nobody should see, zile hadi zinakuwa label secret ama confidential, pia wake ako nazo hapo, anazunguka nazo, zingine anaenda naingia nazo kwa bedsit yake Roisambu.
Anaosha demi yake.
Unarana aje sasa serikali?
Unaona kitu sasa.
How do you run things like that? We have to get to a point where merit matters. And that is why in China, you have to pass an exam to be a government official. Kuna ka KCSE.
Ka politics.
Unaona Communist Party of China, yenyewe huwezi join if you are not top of your class. You join Communist Party of Kenya from when you are a student. Huwezi join hapa katikati. Si style tunaamuka tu tukiwa wakubwa hivi, umeuza cabbages nyama kima, uko na pesa, unaingia chama. Na unakuwa mbunge. Umekuwa sio ukichinja umbwa, ukitengenezea watu samosa, hot dogs. Sasa ndio huyo umekuwa MCA. Umekuwa ukichinja punda, unasema hii ni nyama ya ng'ombe. Umepata pesa ya kutosha, umekuwa MCA. That doesn't happen in China. There is a very straight line of how you end up Joining the Communist Party of China is like joining Harvard in China. You have to have GPA yako as a student, participation in those public activities, nini, ndio kuwa accepted in the Communist Party of China, ndio uwe na chance ya kukua hata PS ama CS ama government official. So their politicians are top of the top. They are brilliant and they are not faking it. Same story to Japan.
You see in Kenya?
Same story to Singapore.
You might not even be
Same
taken
story
to join
in
that
Malaysia.
political party because you'll be too smart.
Wanasema wewe ni mjanja unakuja kutusumbua.
Ngora tusumbua hapa, you are too smart. Huyu atakuwa anatusumbua hapa na nini?
Nyuma vizungu yake mingi. That's how they talk. But let me tell you, education is valuable, manze. Ni ile tu in Kenya we are unfortunate that the most educated people know ways. Ndio wanatuibia sana kwa serikali.
Because they are sharp now, they know how to manipulate
and take advantage.
When you bring this up now, we have this movement known as Nigokadi. Do you see it changing anything? All of these problems you've spoken about for the last 3 hours right now is going to 3 a.m. Do you think we have a solution? These young people, are they up to something?
Mimi sipendi kudismiss kitu kama sijaiona. It's a positive thing, it's a nice thing. Kwa sababu tumekuwa tukicomplain, youths are not taking up IDs, they are not registering. And finally now, something is trending where it can help watu washike ID. Wacha washike kwa wingi. Let them have those IDs. But now, after wamezishika, to make sure wanajua chenye wanafaa kufanya nazo. Because you can be a voter who is going to the ballot kuharibu tu, afadhali hata ungekaa bila kuregister. Unaenda kuvota long tribal line, unaenda kufanya tu kitu ya ufala. But an informed voter, it's better that they have a voter ID. So we can begin with one of the two. Either we inform them or we let them take the voter's card and make sure they are informed before they go to vote. So it's a positive thing. Let everybody register as a voter, awe ready kupiga kura, and those who can stand for election wajipange wa stand for election, kwa sababu it's not enough to register and go and choose between mwizi A and mwizi B.
New faces.
Uko na voters card, sawa, lakini unaenda kuchagua kati ya wezi wawili, sasa haja gani? So inamaanisha people who believe that they are leaders of integrity and that they can perform if given a chance, they should not shy away from leadership. They should take that sacrifice, because I know people are comfortable. Unajua saa ingine when you are comfortable utaki kujistress.
That's true.
Uko na nyumba yako, uko na gari yako,
uko
na
like
watoto wako, mbona ujistress na unaweza lala kwako. But in my own opinion, if you believe that you can be a leader who can make a difference, maze usishy away, usistay away. Participate actively.
Songa nayo. We have someone here called Positive Vibrations. Anasema, yes, and psychiatric evaluations too, so we don't risk having mentally unstable leaders. This part is also very true. And also I think this one also we need to do even with our citizens, because also we also have mentally unstable electorate. Wando nafika pale anachagua mtu kwa zile shuali. Morara, thank you very much for today. Mimi naona tuiwachie hapo. Naelekea saa 9.
We've done an excellent job.
Wewe uko na bibi,
na
kesho unaamka kutengeneza viti.
Na hatuwezi fanya hii kazi yote tumalize na siku moja.
Yes.
Kesho naamukia carpentry.
Kesho uamke upige kitanda pale nini. Huyu kesho pia.
Lakini sumona kazi inafanya.
Iko sawa.
Nzuri.
I've seen. I like the enthusiasm that you have around your work. Then also pia umeanza kuuza magari. I don't know what that business is about. Unakaa tu kuini gari nyingine safi, mileage iko chini.
No, those are my cars I'm selling. Si biashara ya magari nafanya.
Why are you selling?
Si ni gari zangu tu nauza, na declutter. Napunguza tabu.
Morara. Ulikuwa na hizo gari zote?
Yeah, and more. Mimi hata sijauza gari zangu bado zote. Hiyo nimeanza tu kudeclutter moja moja.
Kwani uko na gari ngapi?
So unajua I'm in the car rental business. Or maybe you may not know. I am. In fact, nimewahi sema the first car we bought, hata nisemanga wakati nikuja kwa show yako mara ya kwanza, that the first Prado we bought was not for our own luxury, it was for car rental.
we were actually renting it out at 12,000 per day, and then we were removing pesa ya loan 100,000 a month tunalipa, tunabaki na hiyo ingine ika-accumulate paka tukapata deposit ya hiyo ingine. So yes, I have quite a number of them. But sasa hizi nauza si zile za rento, hizi ni zile zangu nimekuwa nikitumia. It's just that I feel there are too many and I don't need them. Ni gari nakaa hapo jaiendesha mwezi mzima juu you prefer a particular one.
Yeah, kuna favorites.
Yeah, so there is no need. Hiyo pesa kama inaweza rudi ili ninunue trailer mzima ya mbao ama nilete container mzima ya fabrics, it will be more useful. Juu itakuwa inaleta pesa ingine.
Okay.
Kuliko kusimama kwa compound ati mimi nishinde nikiona naamka asubuhi naangalia magari na furahi, no. Well, excitement yangu ya magari imeanza kupungua. I'm not as excited as I used to be.
Yeah, pata maziwa.
Imepungua. But I was excited about cars.
Every man likes cars at some point, then you move from that, you're like, ah.
Now you just need a functional car. Unataka tu kitu ina work.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I've driven the LC300. Of course, it has a few things I don't like, but the LC200 was better. But since it's the newer one, now we drive that one. But there are a few things they actually messed up on the car. A few things they also got it correct. But sasa nataka kuwa na gari tu moja zikienda sana mbili. I sell the rest, reinvest the money back into the business.
Okay. Umesikia Korir, watu wamechoka na magari zao sasa. Hata Korir amelemewa. Unaona macho za watu wenye ni red, Korir, Kevo, Nick, kila mtu macho ni red. But thank you so much for coming through.
Yeah, thank you.
Definitely through the year we're going to bring you back. We tackle a few different things that are coming up. We'll pick your brain.
Siku ingine tukuje tuongelee sasa biz.
Tuongelee biashara. By the way,
juu unaona, let me tell you Obinna, most young people don't believe it's possible. Haki ya Mungu. Wanaonanga ni story ya jaba.
That's true.
Semanga ati ufanye carpentry paka ununue gari ya 17 million, na wewe acha kutupima bana. Wacha kutudanganya. Sema ukweli chenye unafanya hii ni ya kuficha white. So it becomes very difficult to encourage or inspire young people kwa sababu already wako na ile attitude ya una kitu unafanya ni vile utuambii.
They tell me the same thing.
So maze I just need okay,
sometimes it may feel like,
inaweza feel like repetition, but let's just keep encouraging them. Kuna mtu atachomoka afanye kitu. Si lazima kila mtu afunguke macho. Lakini mmoja akifunguka, unaweza pata amejenga kampuni hata iko na 1000 employees, ameemploy hao wengine.
That's true.
So we need to come talk about business, challenges that the young people kuanzisha biashara, how difficult it is, how to navigate some of those challenges, what you will go through. So there are some of the things you have to accept will happen, so that when they are happening, you are not surprised that they've happened.
Yes.
Yeah. So the growth, how to be careful about growth, because growth can collapse a business. How to grow steadily and surely. Don't rush growth. Don't skip it. Don't be excited about growth. It can collapse you. It can collapse under your own weight because you've grown, you don't have systems. Those kind of things. In our next show, tupige hiyo.
Tuongee biashara.
Yeah.
Omogambi. Warire.
Hiyo unajua hiyo Omogambi is a very dangerous name huko kwetu. Ukiitwa Omogambi hiyo ni jina ya kukutoa pesa kwa mfuko.
Oh.
Kiongozi. Omogambi. Omotuleti. Chairman yaito. Mamba. Simba.
Omogambi. Kusema Omogambi, thank you.
Mbuyamono Omogambi.
Omogambi, mbuyamuno. Thank you very much. You keep doing the work you're doing. Civic education is very important.
Yeah.
Wakusikia atasikia, mwenye atasikia pia sikio la kufa lisikii dawa.
Yes.
Tupatane mbele.
Hapo mbele.
All right. Thank you very much for watching, guys. Thank you for staying with us until this time. Wacha tuache mulale, man. It's going to 3 a.m. Wow. It's about 10 minutes to 3 a.m. We've tried. Thank you very much. My team, of course, kama kawaida, thank you so much for holding it down until now, maze. Guys, remember to comment, like, and subscribe. I'm going to see you guys later in the week. On Wednesday, tuko pale na Riba. On Friday, tuko na Pop the Balloon. On Saturday, tuko pale Pepe Tanga. But every other day of the week, tuko na the Obinnas. And remember, we have the biggest fight happening on the 4th of April. I'm going to see you guys. Good night, good morning, God bless. Kwa sawa.
Umesema good night na good morning.
Yeah.
Obinna, you need to be here.
I am.
Check guys. Di water.